Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 205. The point at the camera.
DCP Live 205.
Live 205.
I like that. Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's like a radio station that plays classic rock. Has funny noises.
Live
Good morning,
205,
peaches.
bringing you the greatest hits from the 70s, 80s.
Welcome to
and 90s.
Live 205. We're bringing you those mega hits from the 80s. Hang on for Briar and the Bryans. With their hit
Briar and the Roberts.
Yeah, Briar and the Roberts.
Figured that out in this.
My college roommate, no shit, he's like, he ran the college radio station and his name was Rob Roberts. Like he wanted a name that was the same name twice. Yeah.
Nice.
Is he
Rob
in porn?
Roberts. What's that?
Is he in
No,
porn
it's
now?
DJ.
No.
DJ.
Did he
What do you
transition
think?
from porn or to porn at some point?
I don't think so. He was a chef. He was going to school to be a chef. Which was awesome to have a roommate that studied to be a chef because he's like coming home with all like the stuff he made that day in chef class. It's a pretty sweet
Chef
situation to be in.
Hell yeah.
Briar, did he randomly challenge people to cook-offs?
No.
Food wars, you could say?
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure
Unfortunate.
that he did put sugar in his ex-girlfriend's gas tank, though.
That will ruin your car. won't it?
Yeah, I'm not 100% though, because he never like admitted it outright, but I had a strong suspicion, as
Yeah.
did she.
Yikes.
So anyway, that was college.
Nice. Little Briar.
Hey, I
lore
got
moment.
something really exciting to announce today. I want to take a couple minutes to announce it.
Do it.
We got a
Mhm.
new member of the podcast family on DCP. It's the Retro Slot Podcast. It's going to be about retro stuffs, Nintendos and Segas and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. right here, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time right here on the Twitch channel. And then it'll go live to our podcast feeds and YouTubes the next day.
That is awesome.
We're really
man.
excited.
Nice.
Jay Sniperton is going to be my co-host, or
Oh,
I'm going to be his
nice.
co-host. And we've been talking about it for a few weeks now, and we're really excited about it. We can't wait.
That is really cool.
Yay.
That sounds
I'm
awesome.
excited for it.
Well,
Yeah,
there-
because now I won't be talking retro stuff on SideQuest. So Watts is super excited.
Well, wait, are we losing the
That was
Mr.
why
talk?
you're starting it.
No, we have to keep the mist.
Yeah, what about the Mr.?
I need to know daily diddle Mr. Adventures.
Yeah.
The Daily Diddlers. It
You
could
gonna
it could
move
be a
the Daily
newspaper
Diddle to that?
segment.
There you go, yeah.
Well,
Daily
the
Diddle.
Daily
Very
Diddle.
retro.
That's what we should have. That's what you should have named the show, the Daily Diddle. Although
The
it's not
Daily Diddle?
daily.
I don't know about that.
Jay Sniperton was surprisingly conservative about names.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Apparently, he's like the respectful kind of person that
he is.
cares about his public image.
Maybe he'll bring some class to this.
Does he
Franchise
realize
that's happening.
he, getting on a podcast
Yeah, does he
with
know
you
what
is
he's
going to be
getting
like?
into? Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of. I was like, the name of the show is the last thing you got to worry about. It's literally sitting right next to you.
That's great.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. That'll start next week on Tuesday, and we hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're going to do a game
Congrats.
club with it. So each week we'll have a go-to game that we're definitely going to talk about, and we'll announce it in the previous show. We'll probably have some kind of voting situation, so viewers can vote on it, and then you can play it in the time between episodes, and then we'll talk about the game in the
Hell
next
yeah.
episode.
Quick question. What eras
Mm-hmm.
do you consider are retro for this show?
What's the cutoff?
Figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Or is that
Like
the
we
first
talked
show?
about it. We're
You
pretty much
argued.
going to start at the NES
Yeah.
because neither one of us have really played anything before that.
Okay.
So we're pretty much going to start it in like the
Oh,
mid
okay.
80s.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's really exciting. A retro games club along with the podcast. I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Sounds dope.
very, very cool.
We got a lot of Destiny stuff to talk about.
A lot.
Fran, I'm really happy to see you on the show because
Yeah.
Yay.
hopefully
Welcome back,
you
Fran.
can keep us,
To be back. Great to see
you
y'all.
can keep us on topic.
I doubt it. Trust me, I've tried. Even with Pope gone now, it's still not going to be possible.
Where do we start?
Man,
Well,
I don't know. Should we
I guess we
start
just
with
go in
TWAB?
order. We could just go in
Okay.
order of. So we talk stasis
Whoa,
first.
whoa. I thought we're
No?
all talking about Warlock. I thought it's like Warlock, new stasis announcements, focused for 2 hours talking Warlocks.
You know what?
we
I'm
already
going to go
talked
with you on
about
this
that.
one. Everybody, there's a certain tone that happens on the podcast, and I think it's time we shift that tone over to some pro Warlock love. All right.
What are you talking about? I'm in a Warlock day 1 Warlock. I've been pro Warlock since the
My
start.
bad, Briar.
Do you not remember the
completely misread
9
you.
hours we played Warlocks
Yeah,
and
you
raids?
You're right.
Why
That
would
was
we
a
do that if we didn't
phenomenal
think they were
time.
great?
That was an incredible time. Fran, what's your favorite thing about being a Warlock?
Just that you don't have to like take a bathroom break. Just go right there. You never have to step away.
The look on your face is almost like you had like a brain reboot of being like favorite thing. Oh,
Well, you know, like I wanted to make a joke, but also you know how hard it is for me to like rank and decide on stuff now, and that was what was happening. I was like,
Rank
wait,
on
it's
jokes?
just a joke. It's just a joke. Just make a joke. Just move along.
Well, I for one absolutely love Warlocks. They're the best. They're clearly the superior class, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to be swinging that staff around. That's going to be super
Gandalf
cool.
style.
I'm going to put some stasis in my drinks, keep them nice and cool.
That's a good way.
For real though,
Guys.
the Warlock does look cool with the staff and all that.
Hell yeah.
It does, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
The staff does look cool.
I know that the Hunter, in case anybody out there didn't get the joke, we are here to talk about Hunter Stasis in addition to all the TWAB stuff today.
And also Titans.
The Revenant. What a cool
Wait, no,
name.
just kidding. Wait.
Got a new
yes,
exotic
kidding.
this week.
We got a new exotic. New
And we
finding
got a
out
big
what
fat
the
TWAB.
folks are doing on all those planets that are disappearing.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I have more idea about that now.
Packing
Yeah.
their bags, man.
Yeah. So the Hunter Stasis. What'd you guys
Hunter
think?
Stasis. Squall and Terror, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, the two blades, right? Squall and Terror.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The two commas, I guess,
Squall
as we've
and
come to now figure out. Are they commas? Yeah, because I was calling them like an ice pick or an axe, an ice axe, and I think they're officially commas now.
Commas,
K-
like spelled
K-A-M-A.
like the punctuation.
K-A-M-A, yeah. Comma blades.
K-A-M-A.
I guess they're blades as well, comma blades. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
man, when that trailer and footage
that
had come
checks
out,
out.
I had scrubbed it like a ton, so we didn't know the details. Like we saw a lot of stuff like a ricocheting blade, and I saw like a ground pound, from air, and I was like, "Whoa, we getting that now?" And this seemingly has confirmed.
Now we know what
That-
the ground pound is. Yeah.
That seems to be the biggest stuff we know. We know how the super works. It's a comma, two blades you toss out that do different things. There's like this midair slam. There's a dodge to slow people down, and then the ricocheting blade, I guess, was the only other thing they talked about, right?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just learned two things that are very important, and I need to spread the word. One, you can buy commas online. And two, you can buy them at allninjagear.com. That's a real website.
Oh, comma?
Oh man,
Sorry, go
Allninjagear.com.
on.
I'm afraid to look.
Allninjagear.com.
Interesting. The
Yeah,
dodge to slow. That was the
Look,
one.
you guys are going too fast.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, go for it.
So they showed us the image that they have done with the Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. They said that Revenants are a worthy ally in any battle. Summon the storm, use it for cover, lure enemies inside that unleash devastation. So as we talked about, you have Silence and Squall, which is the two-pronged attack. You have
Right?
Withering Blade, that is the super, yes. You have Withering Blade, where it says the Revenant throws razor-sharp stasis shurikens into the fray that ricochet off multiple enemies and surfaces, slowing and damaging them in the process, which we had seen that already, but now we know it's called Withering Blade. Deadly Edge. Upon impact, the first blade shatters and sends out a wave of stasis energy that freezes any enemies in the surrounding area. And then Stasis Storm, the second blade, hits and creates a violent stasis storm that hones in on nearby enemies, slowing, damaging, and eventually freezing them.
Nice.
So you're gonna summon this storm that's just gonna chase after people. Yes.
Yeah.
It looks cool. Yeah, I like that it's super with two different things happening. I was trying to remember, have we had anything quite like that? Where again one blade does one thing and the other blade does another, as far as I've seen in
No.
the footage. And I think that's the whole point of calling it. One is Silence and one is Squall.
Yeah.
Of what's
Yeah, that
happening.
seems new, doesn't it?
I feel like Dawnblade is the closest. You had like a downward strike and then actual
Yeah.
projectiles. But no, you're right. This is the first one to have like two distinct ones, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah, they have sort of different effects, and I assume you'll have a moment to. I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to aim them at all and have that moment, but it looked fast in the original footage that they released.
Yeah,
it's interesting because as they were talking about finding the fantasy of what the classes wanted to be, because I assume that's where they start, right? It's like, what fantasy do we want each new class to be? And they said that the Warlock one was really easy because it's like an ice wizard, right? There's an ice wizard. Let's do that. That's cool. But it took them a little while to figure out what they wanted to do with the Hunter. But then they eventually settled on the ninja archetype for Hunter, which makes sense, of course, obviously.
Yeah, I like that.
Allninjagear.com. Not sponsored.
That's right.
Commas. Yeah. Get your commas.
We really should research that website more.
Yeah, don't go there yet. I'll let you know if it's safe.
But yeah, I did like that they mentioned that the Hunter took a little more iteration in time, and that they landed on like a ninja.
Yeah.
It's funny because it almost seems like, well, why wouldn't you land on a ninja? But
they're like, should we try and do something else? No, never mind.
I think the weapons, like the weapons are a trickier one, and arriving on like a comma blade, versus like, I mean, the Warlock, you're like freaking Gandalf now, with an ice staff or whatever, or a stasis staff.
No, it's a nice staff.
They say ice staff in the TWAB, to be fair.
Yeah, is it cosmic ice with you guys still?
I mean, cosmic ice for short.
That's how they pitched the idea. They pitched it as, we want to make cosmic ice. So, okay.
And Titan cosmic Behemoth being like your fist. I thought that was genius too. It's like, it's not a hammer. It's not like a weapon. It's literally your fists freeze up and beat the crap out of it. I was like, that's perfect.
I think you said it wrong, actually. Briar, how do you pronounce it correctly?
Which one? I'm sorry, I was reading.
The Titan, new Titan subclass.
Oh, the Behemoth.
Thank you.
It's still funny.
Rhapsody?
It's still funny.
Did he say that on like the last show or whatever? Oh,
that's how Briar says it. That is how it's said. Just like Xbox 4, it's the Bahamas.
Bahamut. I like it.
Oh my God.
We also got to see aspects from Hunter. And this is where my question was answered, because I was like, it shows the Hunter with the commas like throwing it down on the floor. What the hell is that? What's going on? Because we saw the super and I was confused about it. But we learned that it is an aspect called Shatter Dive. So you can activate while mid-air to quickly descend and shatter nearby targets on impact. So it binds to long press of circle, it says here. So whatever your dodge button is, or your class button.
Fascinating. Yeah.
So in the air, you hold it down and you smash the floor. That's exciting.
Yeah, that is.
It's going to be fun. Also, all the Warlocks can go in there with their little fancy staff, and then we come along and we just smash everything from the sky.
We? Who's this we?
Like...
I'm a Warlock main.
No.
Day one Warlock right here.
Tess finally made his transformation in the last few weeks. I wasn't on.
It's the California smoke, man. I'm dying over here, all right?
You're a different person, yeah.
And the thing that everyone's super excited about is Hunter having the ability to dodge and slow people.
This is the one. This is the one that got spread immediately. When people were like, "What? Okay, GG's Crucible."
Yeah.
Still, I don't know though. When you when I read it, I had the same reaction too. But it's like when you throw smoke at somebody, the same thing happens. Roughly speaking. So. Yeah, but as long as you're not doing it a ton.
This is the cold embrace of death, chilling them to the bones. This isn't them just having a secondhand smoke.
A lot of people went Gemini Jesters here, because then you slow them, you take away their radar, and you go and all of that. I, on the other hand, was like, Bombardiers. Slow them, keep them slow, poop out a nade, explode them.
Oh, dang.
Finally, that bomb you crap out, you can put it to some good use.
They're finally slow enough for me to hit him with the ass nade. Yes.
That's what Briar's been practicing for on the doorknob, is holding that grenade tight until you really need to use it. He's
so good at that, Briar.
In real life, man.
It's years of practice. You just got to...
Yeah, he'll pour in too early. It doesn't matter.
They say 10,000 hours of practice.
There you go. Is there any do we know if there's any debuff to the cooldown of your dodge with the freeze? Because having your dodge come back so quickly and then freezing constantly is insane.
I figured it'd be like a rift, right? In the same you can only use that ability, and then it's got to recharge.
See,
like
it's
a rift or whatever.
It's interesting because they call it an aspect, and all the aspects that we've seen. So it says hunter specific slow dodge aspect, and it's only been the fragments so far that have like the minus strength or minus mobility or whatever. It hasn't been aspects. Stats. So unless maybe there's, I mean, that's also part of the like smashing down and destroying things. So maybe there's other aspects that are just super interesting, and that's why they're okay with it. I don't know. But
I don't know if
we'll see.
It also shows to me that they're definitely moving more towards the RPG sandbox. You know? It's like the first thing that everybody thinks about is like, well, Crucible is gonna be madness. But like I think Bungie's thinking your PvE game is gonna be so much more fun with all these things freezing and shattering.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And basically, right, the way it works is you got to, and as much as we know, right, you find aspects in the world somehow. First, that's the first step, and then you get fragments, which are almost like mods, right? For the aspects you find.
They do smaller things. Like the one they showed for Hunter this time around was gain a bonus to weapon damage after freezing a target with stasis, which sounds pretty good. It's minus 10 strength, but I mean, you could, if you really care about it, you can just put a bunch of strength in your build to bypass that.
Do we know what the melee charge is for Stasis Hunter? Ice Hunter?
It's the shuriken.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. It's the
sorry, I forgot.
What's it called? Is that the Withering Blade? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So freeze somebody. You don't even have to kill them. You just have to freeze a target with stasis, and you get a boost to weapon damage.
Yeah, I thought that one sounded particularly interesting, and I was wondering if you guys think it'll work as long as you have it on. Like, if anybody freezes with another class or whatever, do you think it'll work the same way?
You probably have to proc
like it'll affect your teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so you think it works just with you, probably? I mean, I don't know.
It sounds like it would just be you.
Yeah, personally, maybe
not.
I could see that being an
after
exotic.
Freezing a target with stasis, which other people can do as well. But
I think it's you.
Yeah,
I think you have to actually freeze them. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll probably get the perk ability that shows up on a timer, right? Whisper of Hedrons. Yeah.
Just think if you're in a 6-man raid and like everybody's freezing,
everything's frozen.
That'd be a little cheesy.
Exactly. That's what I was like. Oh, perfect. We might have a really powerful combo, but
Those things get me so excited, though. It's going to switch up the feel of Destiny so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to just feel so much more fresh, hunting for the aspects and the fragments and making builds with it and all sorts of stuff. It's very interesting.
Have you guys discussed the the fundamental but isn't everybody going to be using stasis? What are we going to do? I mean, I assume we will change it up, but it's going to be like this, especially the first month of oh man,
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to be.
Switch to tether.
First month is exclusive ice classes. Just
everybody's going to be doing.
Yeah, it was the same way with Taken King.
Yeah, I also think that's why they're not planning on adjusting the other classes until this is settled down, so that everybody gets it fully figured out and they can see the problems with the system, if there is any.
I think the other class is going to take quite some time, actually. My theory actually is that I don't know if it'll be every year, but it might be that long. But you'll get a full reintroduction. Let's say it'll be a year from now that we get another class and then another one. And I don't know if it'll be exactly that long, but I bet you it'll be a while. And they'll treat them as bigger moments, to reintroduce.
Yeah, I'm assuming the restructuring of the current stuff is going to be on a yearly, interval.
Yeah.
So you think they'll just do, for instance, Solar next year,
mm-hmm.
but Arc and Void will. Wow.
I think it gives them.
Yeah, I don't know.
It gives them some stretch too. I mean, let's be honest. There's only so much content to go around, and these are really exciting moments. So if you do that all the first year, you kind of give it up a little too soon. And it's not like the current classes are terrible or anything.
Let's say they were to redo Void next year, right? And they were going to just focus on one elemental subclass. Would you expect a full rework of that subclass?
Just like this.
Even Nova bombs are suspect to be in gone. They could just change everything about the subclass. I think it has
to be.
Or do you think it's more Nova bombs are still going to be there? The essential abilities are still going to be there. There's just some modifications in the way that they organize things look more like this.
So the only reason that I think that it's going to have to be a total change is because we currently have like Nova Bomb and we also have Nova Warp and we have Tether and we have the Blades. And currently Stasis only has one super. So unless they're planning on adding like another super to Stasis that maybe you can select, I feel like they'd have to just change it and figure out what they want Void to be, what they want Solar to be, what they want Arc to be, and just really change what it is. Because maybe they will go down the road of, you know, more of this kind of procking something and then damaging something, or like just giving the elements more of an identity than what they currently have. So yeah, I think it would have to be a complete overhaul.
Yeah, because
if they're doing one
this whole like freeze shatter type of concept, like I would love to see something like that in the other elements. So with Void, maybe some sort of like weight gets applied to people. I mean, that kind of sounds like Stasis again, some slow, but like maybe it's gravity wells, some sort of gravity well mechanic that happens with the Void element. And I'd love to see, you know, like fire dot damage be more used aggressively with solar and all that, and then see those elements get used in other things other than just classes. Like enemies have that stuff, some weapons have those properties, and then obviously the subclasses. Like to me, that starts to sound like a really fleshed out sandbox that's RPG based.
Yeah. It's funny that I hadn't really fully processed that yet because there's been so much. But yeah, you're right. There's only one super for this new archetype and or subclass, and yeah, that's kind of interesting because it also gives them the opportunity to introduce another darkness superpower. Also, so there's a lot of things to play with and like make things feel a bit more fresh. But also, I don't think you can reinvent the whole sandbox overnight. And that's probably a good idea too. You know, it must be. I can't even imagine like having already balanced out so many things for the current subclasses and then adding these three, but then imagine they redid all the other ones all over. I'd be like, oh man, this is like risky, you know, just throw everything into the
risky, but super exciting.
Yeah,
like
cool.
That would basically
awesome
be like
trailer.
releasing Destiny 3, right? It's like, well, you've changed everything.
Right. You know,
I don't know.
That's what
like 4 years seems like too long to wait, like for all of them to get refreshed. Like,
maybe not that long.
Okay, the reason why I say that is because expect it to be that long and then be pleasantly surprised when they're like, next year we've redone all of them, because, you know, it needs.
I think that's a pretty good policy. Because
I could totally see them being like, all right, it's the year of solar and then the year of void and the year of arc. But if they did happen to revamp all of them next year because they wanted all to fit in line, then awesome. Like I'm not
but
gonna,
even if they did like one per season, like throughout the next year,
I
don't know if that's possible though. That seems like a lot of
that's wishful thinking.
It seems.
Do you think that will be capped at four subclasses, or do you think they could just keep adding them?
They could definitely keep adding. See, I mean, it's possible that they could do a revamp of all of them next year, and then the following year is like a whole new. Like what's the thorn thing, the decay or whatever subclass or something?
I don't know. Well, we know that at a minimum they want to look at the way this is done with aspects and fragments. Clearly seem to be, and they're, you know, ultimately there's modding on your super going down. Seems like that's the first direction. So that there's the other option, which is, all right, they already are liking what they see in testing, and then maybe we first just get the conversion. Maybe it's next year even, but we get just the conversion of bringing over most of what you have, but in a new system. And then they change like one thing. Let's say they get rid of one of those subclass supers, change it up a bit, as well as adding some fragments and stuff. But then they have to evolve on top of that, and they have those, you know, Year of the Void because they're fully revamping her. But I mean, think about it. It's been
3 years.
4 years. Wait, God, it's been 3 years. Right? And if you include like what was done in D1, even we actually have had the supers for quite some time. So I wouldn't expect in 2 years. That's the counter argument. Like, well, have you ever seen them all change all of a sudden in 2 years? Even with D2, we didn't see that. There was new stuff and slight tweaks, but it wasn't like all brand new.
Unless they've now got like a better idea of what they want to do.
True.
So now they're like, okay, well, we know that we really like the stasis thing, the fragments and aspects people are enjoying. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
I
I think it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's funny they say they want to test this, but usually they're pretty set on it, and they're about 6 to 8 months ahead already. Anyway, but they're going to tweak based on some of our feedback and
Tweaking numbers and stuff.
Yeah, they're
Drop
probably gonna,
rates.
They're probably going to like pay attention to how people are collecting it and how they're using it and how it's affecting the overall momentum of gameplay from like strikes to PvP and all that, and then make adjustments based on that. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure they're settled on this like aspects, artifact type of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Or fragment.
Yeah, because it's just
artifact.
it's very much the mod system, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, it's what I was thinking about too. Again, there's like 2 aspects or something that we know about, but there could easily be more for the same super here, right? So
It looks like there's 6. At least there's 6 slots.
for aspects,
Yeah. Like
You
when
mean- I
they're
think you mean the
hovering over the aspects, there's a bunch of slots. We just can
Oh,
only
when they
see that the
hover
person's
over
collected 2.
Yeah, each aspect has slots to insert fragments into, and it's
Right.
like up from like 1 to 3 by the looks of it, or maybe
Yep.
it's always 3. It's just you haven't slotted them yet.
Oh, you're talking about the drop down. But I mean, either way, the point was roughly the same, which is like meaning they
Yeah.
could continue they have an infinite amount of opportunities to keep your super the same
Mhm.
and your base abilities the same, like your Withering Blade, et cetera, and your jump and all that. But then bring out a new aspect and just say, well, you need that aspect if you want this new thing. And then they don't have to reintroduce an entirely new super. So
Totally,
it
yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
It opens it up for
Maybe
them
we
to
would just do
really add to subclasses way easier than making a whole freaking tree all over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Which is
that's actually
exciting.
one of the things I'm really excited about is they could introduce a new thing and in the following season, and like suddenly you're getting a new drop for stasis. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? Even if they added a new fragment, and fragments aren't as crazy as aspects, but even if they just added a new fragment, you could end up changing your whole build and the way you play based on that new fragment.
Yeah.
So that's a exciting prospect that it could really change up the way you play the game by just adding, one of those things, 2 of those things.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe seasonal fragments too. I don't know.
I would
right?
love seasonal fragments.
Yeah.
So
it can
long as
happen
it's
where
not
like-
just some basic stat that gets affected. Something that's
Yeah.
really
It's
like,
now
awesome.
minus 10 in discipline instead of minus 10 strength.
Yeah.
But you gotta get to 2s.
just this season, all right? Use it wisely.
One thing that we did really learn about in the Hunter segment of the stasis thing was we learned about grenades, because I know a lot of people were kind of scared that you'd only have 1 grenade between all classes, and it was just, you were just going to get 1 grenade. But they did say that there are 3 grenades. So this is exciting. So you have the Glacier Grenade. Upon contact with the ground, a wall of stasis crystals instantly burst from the earth, and nearby enemies are frozen inside stasis crystal. Interesting.
Is that the kind of thing I can jump on, like that they showed? Like
I think that's
build a wall and jump on it.
This is
That's
the
the-
wall, yeah. Because it says a wall of
That's the
stasis
cold
crystal
snap.
instantly burst.
That's the next
I
one
like
we'll
that
talk
one.
about.
That one's so
Yeah.
cool.
But this one freezes people inside the stasis crystal. So you can put up a
Cool.
wall and you can freeze people in the crystal. Exciting.
Nice.
These grenades have multiple uses, from encasing enemies to creating cover. When destroyed, the crystals will create AoE burst damage to nearby enemies.
Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
looks cool. In the
Right?
in the trailer or the gameplay they released, I remember, I think it was seeing the Hunter throw this Glacier Grenade down, and it looks like a void wall at first, but then it
goes,
freezes and
woo.
forms up into
Yeah.
stasis crystals. And then on top of that, this new ability to shatter. It's going to be really interesting, right? You think about all 3 of those things, and beyond that, now modding it, right? I assume
Mhm.
the area of effect damage when you explode this wall of crystals, maybe also you can, buff up a bit to do more damage. And so it's pretty cool to think about that when you just throw down 1 nade of all the things that, benefits you.
Very
Yeah.
Trap an enemy,
Um,
freeze an enemy, blow it up.
Blow it up and then blow up everyone
Shoot
else
it.
around him.
cool. Yeah.
The next grenade is called Cold Snap Grenade. Upon impact with the ground or an enemy, this grenade unleashes a wave of stasis energy that races along the ground in the direction of the closest nearby enemy, freezing them and then searching out the next nearby foe. You can
Wow.
freeze up to 3 enemies with a single cold snap grenade.
I wonder how far the reach will be on that, because that could be
Yeah,
really
no.
annoying in the
You know what
Crucible.
sounds fun? You throwing that in a PvP control point. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freeze 3. Get a little shatter.
That sounds
Dude, it's
great.
it. Yeah, it's like getting hit by an arc bolt. You know.
Yeah, it
where you're
reminds me of Arc
"Please
Bolt a lot,
Don't
yeah."
stand next to each other if someone's using
That's true.
cold snap grenade. It's not like we haven't seen stuff like this before. Oh, so yeah, I
True.
thought that was the one that you could. Which one of these can you stand on? Is it?
Or the
It
first
might,
one, I think.
the Glacier, you might just be able to use like against any surface, and then it comes out from that surface. So if you throw it at a wall, it probably goes to
That's
the
kind of what I
side.
assumed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on
Yeah,
what
just-
angle it hits. Kind of like
Yeah.
imagine trip mines. And
Like
then
a
the trip
spike
mine-
grenade. Yeah.
Yeah,
or
spike
trip
grenade.
mine. Probably using similar tech for that would be
Mhm.
my guess.
Yep.
And then the final one is Dusk Field Grenade, which is the one we saw the Hunter use in the trailer in the Crucible, where they put the grenade down and then threw the shuriken. And this one creates powerful stasis fields that suck enemies into them when forming. Interesting. Once an enemy is caught inside, they will be slowed, and if unable to make it out in time, frozen in place.
Damn.
Frozen, like in ice.
In place.
Encased.
In
Oh,
place.
my
right.
bad.
Not in ice.
Sorry.
Okay.
That was ice.
Like how ice
But
cubes
I
are.
mean, I do think they crystallize, right? That was what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
was the effect,
Yeah.
right?
They stood in there and were like, whoa, we're so slow. And then they turned into ice. And then they got exploded by shurikens.
Yep.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting in the Crucible. Yeah, to see 3 new grenade types like this. PvE.
It's gonna be
I'm still wrapping
chaos.
my head around it. Yeah,
It's gonna
Delicious
be fun chaos, though. Yeah, like learning all this
Yes.
stuff.
It's chaos.
Like it's gonna be. I have a feeling that Beyond Light is gonna feel really fresh. We're gonna have
Definitely.
new areas to explore. We're gonna have new subclasses to figure out. You know, like it's really. I'm hoping that it's really gonna have a fresh feeling to it.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I'm really excited.
November 10th.
Right?
That's so far away.
It's 2 months away. Yeah, 2 months
I'm
away to the
glad
day.
it's far away. There's so much. I don't know. I guess I don't feel ready for it, but I guess to be fair, I know
Basically, my
people are used
plan
to,
for the
like-
next 2 months is to be as fast as possible to pre-order something.
Yeah, everything.
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's going to be at 8
That's
a.m. That's going live. All right, I will be
Right.
there with multiple devices. I'll have my Apple Pay, Google Pay, every pay, and whatever pay is ready to just charge it right now. I need the 3080.
Yep.
Yeah. 3080, PlayStation 5,
PS5,
Xbox
yeah.
4. Like
Right.
whatever it is that you're looking forward to this season. Like there's a ton of it, and it's like, who knows what the availability is going to be like. Who knows how much it's going to. At least we know how much the Xbox is going to cost, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's huge news. We
Fran-
definitely need to talk about that.
Yeah, Fran, what do you think about the Xbox 4 pricing? Like, I'll be honest with you, I was pleasantly surprised how inexpensive it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually expected it overall, except the Series S was a bit of a surprise to be that low. You know, I guess I probably thought maybe more like 350 or to go under 300, and cut the specs, but also keep some of like the CPU being the same, even though the GPU is different. And
That's
and
huge.
The SSD, it's an amazing value. And I was making that argument before I even saw the price about how 4K is just overrated, as like gaming has to run in 4K, and consoles especially. It's this weird pressure of like, oh, is it running in real 4K? And it's like, dude, can you please just get the frame rate up and consistent? And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so the idea to have a even $300 console that hopefully looks pretty darn good. And these are, I forgot to check what the GPU might be equivalent to, if it's like a 2060 or, but you know, that stuff looks pretty darn good.
Basically what the One X is right now.
The CPU is the same. I think the GPU is what's different. I might be wrong
CPU
there.
is the same
I gotta
as
double
the
check.
current One X, not the Series X.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I thought you were saying.
Isn't it
Series
confusing?
X.
It's almost like they should give it a new name, like the Xbox 4.
I thought you were saying
naming structure
Series
is
X.
absolutely trash. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
It is terrible.
Okay,
As soon as those leaks happened, I was like, "What is it?
Yeah.
Isn't this last generation? I don't understand. I'm not googling to figuring it out. I'm going to bed."
So bad.
You're saying the GPU is closer to the One X.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the
I didn't
current
look
the
at-
current
I don't know
One X
what the
that's
One
available
X
right
is.
So
No
it's
idea.
the Pro. It's the Xbox One Pro GPU. I thought that was going to be basically what the GPU and the S was, but I didn't know that the CPU is the same. You're saying the CPU is the same as the Series X?
Yeah, it actually
Okay,
is.
so that
crazy.
is that's monumental because the CPU is literally what's holding back games like Destiny from being able to run consistently at 60 FPS right now on a 1X.
For Destiny fans, this is actually like amazing news because for $299 you can get the Xbox Series S and Game Pass for I think $24.99 a month.
Yeah,
$25 a month.
You're up and running
for 2 years. You actually pay less than if you had just bought the Xbox Series S and Game Pass separately and paid for them for 2 years. And Destiny Beyond Light is coming to Game Pass.
Mhm.
So like if you're a Destiny fan, like, oh, well, okay, Series S it is, or Series X if you really want 4K, but if Series S runs 1080p 60, I mean that's gonna be
it will
awesome.
It'll run 2K 60 for sure, but they may have already I don't know if it's going to meet 4K 60, but like what is it? That was my earlier point. It doesn't matter. In fact, we actually know the console is focused more on rendering at 2K. It'll still output 4K, but
it also said
up
to
120 Destiny.
When they showed the Series S, they said up to 120 FPS and all that.
Yeah.
Which I would love if Bungie also potentially targeted 120 on these consoles.
Be so awesome.
That would be. I know that like
I think that's a lot.
This is probably wishful thinking at this point, but those CPUs are strong. They're essentially like medium to high grade PCs right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on the X, you could target 1080p 60 or 1080p 120, but man, that seems like a lot to ask for.
I actually think it's very doable, but they'd have to be willing to like give the consumer the player a downgrade of visuals and somehow communicate that. Or maybe they don't, but you know what I mean? Like texture's going to come down. It's like running on low or medium or whatever on PC, which frankly
it gives the option for frames, right? Like if you don't
just say, hey, you're going to lose a little fidelity, but
if you're not rocking a 144 hertz monitor, then why not just stick with 60 and stick with higher graphics or something like that? Like I think the more options that we get as a console player, I think is definitely better across the board.
Yeah.
Now back to this financing thing. This is crazy, man. Like. I did not expect this because a lot of people, a lot of the rebuttal is like, oh, well, there's no games on Xbox or something like that. It's like, well, hold up. Every game that's coming out on multi-platform is going to be on Xbox,
Creed,
right? It's like,
Cyberpunk.
Yeah. It's like, I get that it's
crazy.
I get that they don't have,
going from,
I get that they don't have like the generation defining exclusive. Totally get that. But every game that's multi-platform is going to be on the Xbox. And there's a high chance also that it's going to be on the Game Pass because they got the EA thing and whatever's coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Thing is nuts.
So for $25 a month, you get new hardware, basically, right? The latest,
this is for the S, not the X. The X will be the same deal, but for $34.99.
$35. So just the $10 more, you get Series X and 2 years of is it Ultimate or just regular?
Ultimate.
You get
so it works on your PC as well.
You get Ultimate
that you get
and the Series X, $35 a month for 2 years. Like, that's a crazy deal.
And Destiny Beyond Light is coming to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, specifically for people who play Destiny, this is an awesome bargain. Like, I talked to Jay Stuyberton about this on Monday.
It blew my mind.
And it's like, he mentioned, it's a great deal because you actually pay less for the hardware this way, but you better pay that fucking shit on time. Because you're gonna get hosed if you don't. If you're thinking that you're gonna like skate away from this and not pay the stuff, or if you miss some payments, if you don't pay it off by the end of the term, they're gonna charge you for all the interest that you didn't pay.
Yeah, you're gonna get penalized.
Yes, you have to. You have to pay it on time. But I mean, even if you can afford it, it's a good deal. It's better to hold on to your money than give it to somebody else.
Dude, I want to know how maybe they announced this, like how the financing is done. Because normally you have to like sign up with if it's
I think it's on their website. You can go and.
But like I think Microsoft is doing it, which
it's through Microsoft. I think you can pick up the consoles at like retailers though.
Yeah. But what I mean is like getting a loan effectively from Microsoft is actually brilliant, $1 billion company and saying, we'll just take it on the risk. And like, I assume
they've done this for the Xbox One and the 360 in the past.
Yeah, it's essentially like a phone. If you go to T-Mobile or Sprint or Verizon, whatever, it's essentially that same type of thing. I mean, they're giving you 2 years to pay off the hardware and then also use the service. So assuming you're going to get their service, which if you're buying an Xbox, obviously you're going to get the service that comes with the Xbox. It's
the best reason to buy an Xbox.
It's crazy that they're just like packaging this all together and being like, well, if you're even remotely interested in Xbox, why wouldn't you just go with this? Assuming your credit's okay, because you do have to have a credit check for that.
Yeah.
I mean, all the games I'm playing right now are on Game Pass. I'm playing Wasteland 3, I'm playing Spiritfarer, and I'm playing Flight Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
All of those are on Game Pass. I'm paying, my Game Pass monthly subscription to get that's $180 worth of games.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Well,
if you want to play a bunch of games, it is totally worth it. And this deal went from me saying, I am not going to get an Xbox to, I probably might get an S for the living room, right? Because then we can have like the next gen gaming in the living room with Game Pass that I already have anyway. So I'm going to be using that. And then I can have a PlayStation for the office. Whereas before I was like, I don't really know if I care about Xbox. Yeah. Completely changed my mind with the pricing and the structure that they're doing.
I think the smart way to do it is to just, maybe it's smart for me because I suck at paying bills. Like I'm just an irresponsible person and I don't remember dates. So what I do is I have my bills automatically paid through my credit card so that when I get paid, I just pay my credit card bill.
Yeah.
Right. And that way it's an easy way for me to never miss a payment. And like if I put this on that, then I know I'll be safe with the terms. And as long as I keep my credit card paid, like we're good to go. Mm-hmm. Like it's just such an easy way to go. I end up saving money in the long run. It's just it's a no-brainer. It's great.
Yeah, if you go with the S, you actually save money on the hardware, right? It ends up being like $240 or $60, something like that for the hardware.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true with the X.
I think the X ends up netting even or something like that. Because like again, you have $15 a month for Ultimate for 2 years, so it ends up being like $360 or something like that. So that plus the Series X plus tax, I'm sure tax you have to pay up front for all this stuff.
And they just raised the price of Game Pass on PC, right? From like $5 to $10 a month.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So if you're, if you've been thinking about it, but you're also thinking, man, it'd be kind of hard to swing $500 right now. Like this might be an option. I mean, if it's hard to swing $500 for a console right now, maybe you need to focus on some other stuff. But if you could easily afford, say like a $35 a month or $25 a month bill right now for next 2 years to get access. I mean, I feel
that's much more palatable than
so
dropping $300 or $500.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
what do you think this means for PlayStation? Like PlayStation, I feel like they've been preparing us for this is going to cost a lot, guys. Get ready. And then for Microsoft to come out with the more powerful console at $500 seems like a powerful move.
I really expect the PlayStation 5 to be $500. I think I'd be shocked.
Yeah,
it could maybe be $550. I'd just be shocked if they go over that $500 price mark.
There's this rumor that the digital only one's going to be $400 and that the disc one is $500. I just don't. That sounds right. Them. Yeah. You think they're going to do like $100 disparity on that?
I think so because they pretty much have to at this point as well. I get I've been saying this a lot. Like PlayStation's going to sell it regardless. But I do feel like the 500 mark is a really important starting point, and to go over it seems crazy. So I feel like Microsoft, in a way, decided and ensured that we'd get a PlayStation 5 for $500.
Well, they didn't even decide, right? It was a leak,
right?
Well, but meaning they had already decided on the price.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's realistic for Sony to say, look, because the difference is this, right? I think they again, I have to pull my comparisons, but I'm pretty sure the PlayStation 5 discless version, that's the only difference is there's no Blu-ray Blu-ray player, but it's got 825 gigs of SSD, which is unlike the difference with Xbox Series S is a bigger difference. And so you have this weird consumer knowledge that needs to develop. And I did double check it. You're right. It's got 4 T-flops, which is closer to like a PlayStation 4 Pro. It's actually a little.
What turned everybody into zombies in Resident Evil?
Yeah, exactly. It was the Umbrella T-Flops Corporation. But anyway, you're right that when you look at it, you say, oh, it's 2K. It's a new system. And man, it looks so cool. It's probably not that different than the Xbox Series X, which, by the way, on a T-flop rating, it's a huge difference. I'd have to look up like graphics cards. But again, it's the difference between having like an Xbox One X, more optimized outputting, with some of the newer CPUs versus like having a 2080 Ti,
Wait, what's the comparison? I lost the comparison that you're making right there. Between which two?
So Xbox Series S apparently is 4 T-flops.
Oh, got it. Yeah, it's more like
the PS4 Pro is
current
about
1X.
Yeah, you're right on paper, but I mean, I do think it's important to remember with a new GPU with built-in, hardware, probably for things like ray tracing. Even
the new CPU is the big one.
If they said that.
The new CPU actually makes it so they can crunch all these extra things from the AI to the being able to churn the frames out with the CPU.
And I confirm it is the same. It's slightly underclocked, probably for power and cooling reasons, but it's the same. It's literally a few tenths of gigahertz off. So anyway, my point was you're gonna have a weird situation of having like Series S, which you'll be like, well, it's more bargain, but it looks pretty darn good. And it can run the same. It can run all the new games. And to have everybody optimizing for it is a very big difference. But then we're going to learn, I assume, that people are going to be like, but the PlayStation's more powerful than that. And that becomes just flat out, it's more powerful. And
it's more powerful than the S, but the X is more powerful than the PlayStation.
Yeah, but not by a ton. I think you're going to see
12 teraflops versus 10 teraflops. I think it's somewhere
like you've seen Ratchet and Clank, right? Meaning awesome. It's phenomenal.
It's the only reason I want a PlayStation right now.
I don't think you're going to see huge differences. You'll see some optimization, I think, occasionally where it was like, maybe like with Destiny, for example, it just might run a little bit better out the gate.
And
I don't think
if the main reason for buying a PlayStation is because I love Sony exclusives, well, they always look stupid good.
Yeah,
because they target that hardware specifically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you really think a digital only version of the PS5 is going to be $400?
No,
I do not. I think if they're gonna come in with a low price, I think it's gonna start at $500 for the digital, because they know they're gonna sell a bunch of PS5s. They're not trying to win the market share. They have the market share right now.
Yeah,
and also it's expensive. It's been like outed that it's definitely gonna cost them money to produce these things. It's gonna be expensive
on both fronts, the Series X and PlayStation 5 with the more custom SSD architecture and everything. But yeah, it's all gonna sell out. I mean, that's my point. The first year they're both gonna sell pretty well, I think. But PlayStation, to your point, Tef, that's the point. There's like 110 million PlayStations out there, I think, maybe more. You think they're going to have trouble selling 1 or 2 million at $500, even 550? No, not with the confidence. And so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's why I think it's going to be $400. But you think
I'm saying they're not going to have any problem selling it for $500 because they're already the market leader.
No, the discless version. What do you think? You think it's going to be $450?
I think it's going to come in at like either $480 or $500, somewhere around there, for the discless version. And then the premium one that people are going to be like, oh, well, did you get the disc version? Because it's the better one. Like that's the upgraded version. Like that's going to be like $550, $600, something like that.
See, you guys are talking about launch, and I agree with you. Like everything's going to sell out at launch. But like, year 2, year 3, when, it's a 12-year-old kid asking for these things for his Christmas present or his birthday, and mom and dad have to go pay for them at GameStop or Best Buy or something. That's when you're going to see these decisions make a real difference. Like, oh, I could buy this one for $300, and I get Game Pass where he gets to play all his favorite games. Like that's a huge.
You never have to buy a game for your kid again. You just like, here's Game Pass. Have fun.
Yeah,
that's it.
True.
Yeah, I think from parent perspective,
parent perspective, Game Pass.
Huge parent perspective, that $25 a month for a new console and all the games is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Like in PlayStation wants, like, let's say it does come out at price parity, $500. PlayStation wants $500 and doesn't have a service like Game Pass, and they don't have like some kind of financing option. Because let's not forget, people aren't, people are kind of hard up right now, a lot of us, especially like, the hardcore of us, or, the people who are streaming or people on this podcast, we're prioritizing buying consoles, buying new graphics cards. but that's not everybody's reality.
Nope.
And yeah, like I agree, the launch ones, they're gonna all sell out. People are gonna be lined up around Best Buys around the block to get them. But like year 2, year 3, I think we're gonna see really the difference of these big changes that these platforms are making.
Hey, if the PlayStation comes in at $400 for digital, like that'd be amazing. I'll be saving money. I'm gonna buy the digital version. That's what I want. I actually don't care about the disc version because I don't buy. Last time I bought a disc copy was like 3 years ago, I think, and it was.
What game was it?
I think I bought Call of Duty because I was planning on returning it or whatever, or selling it again. I was like, I'm definitely not gonna play this for any extended amount of time, so maybe I should just buy a physical version and then sell it or trade it in or something.
I like buying the disc version, so I'm gonna go disc. And I, the extra cost of that, assuming it's $100, is worth it to me because I'll make that up by buying used games in the future.
I actually find it like annoying that I have to put a disc in to play a game.
Yeah, I do.
It's worse when you have 2 of them. With the PlayStation, I had one in the office and one in the living room. And finally, I broke down and bought the digital version of Destiny because I was sick of going to get the disc.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what it's going to come down to ultimately between all the consoles is what loads Destiny the fastest. And that's what's going to win for us in the end, right? Like,
there you go.
I can just load into
what gets the
something
TWAB
faster.
red faster.
Dude, either way you shake it, like Xbox or PS5, they're going to load Destiny incredibly fast, and it's going to look amazing. I can't wait for console gamers who've only been on console to see Destiny in higher frame rates. On their
and at this point, I don't want them to start crossplay because I'm afraid that the cheating on the PC side will impact the experience for the console players. I'm going to switch over to console when the new consoles come out and start playing in my living room at 4K 60 and be happy with that.
If I'm getting cheated on, I'm very tempted to switch back. I don't really want to play with a controller though, but
don't both new consoles support mouse and keyboard?
Yeah, they will. It's just like having to hook that up, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Is it going to support it for Destiny though? That's the question.
Plus,
I don't know. That's another good point.
I feel like they probably will.
It'd be nice.
I would assume it seems like it'd be default for major shooters to like launch with mouse and keyboard support.
The consoles are going to support 120 FPS. Nobody's got 120 FPS TV, so like you're looking at setting this thing on a desk.
Friday. Yeah,
I mean, how many 120 FPS TVs are out there even right now?
There's at least 1 or 2. I mean, I know the LG CX is the one that a lot of people are looking at, and it's readily available for as little as $1,500, I think, for a 43-inch. So by Black Friday, it'll be out there. So we'll see. But
I mean,
we don't even know if Destiny will run at 120 on at any point.
And if it does, then it'd be one of those things that you could start looking for as an upgrade in the future, maybe next year, to possibly see the difference. Or you can just get a monitor and try it out, like a cheap 144 hertz monitor, see the difference,
mouse and keyboard,
and evaluate if it's something that you're into, being like, wow, those frames are pretty nice. Or they might be like, hey, that makes me nauseous, it looks too real.
Guys, we really need to talk about Destiny. We have a huge Destiny week, and it's turned into side quest. So now
this was pretty Destiny.
This affects Destiny. All this, like the people are going to be wanting to buy a Series S for Destiny.
But the TWAB is.
Yeah.
It is
but you are right. The TWAB is juicy.
Massive. We had a new gun come out. The quest.
Yeah, let's talk about the new gun.
New lore. Traveler's Chosen Sidearm finally came out.
Wait, you're not Traveler's Chosen. I'm Traveler's Chosen.
The thing the Traveler's gonna not choose any of us very soon. They'll kick us out. Are you dabbling with the darkness? I'm going back to the Fallen, assholes.
I did not have a chance to get it yet, so I've been on the sidelines seeing everybody get it.
You're definitely not Traveler's Chosen.
The quest is actually, I enjoyed it because we know, so the quest takes you to all of the vendors of the planets that are disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's giving you an idea of what they're planning on doing. Sloan is gonna like friggin' go in there and smack some fools. Great, fantastic. And it's like, bye. I'll bring Rasputin with me, but I'm good to just leave. So we kind of get an idea of what everyone's going to be doing, which is nice because I think I questioned that a lot. Like, are they all moving into the tower? Are they all just disappearing and dying? So this kind of answered some of those questions. And it kind of felt like a last hurrah kind of around all of these planets that are going away, which they've done a few times.
Yeah.
They've had us do that. And I personally really really like that. So yeah, you go through different planets, you do strikes. On Mars, you do some escalation protocol, and then you get the gun.
How long does the entire quest take?
It'll take you between about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending how fast
quick.
you go.
Fast?
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
It's not. Yeah, it's a good mixture of stuff. Like you don't feel like you're slogging away on the planet. You get in there and you kind of experience the strike that's going away, or like EP that's going away, and then you're done.
I had
so all the YouTube thumbnails say this is the most unbelievable gun ever made, and it's amazing, and I should get it immediately.
Is it insane?
Hold on. Before we talk about that,
Overpowered?
before we talk about that, I had the Thorn Strike still loaded up for my Hunter.
Oh,
because I ended up soloing the Thorn Strike on my beloved Warlock, the best class ever, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. So I had to actually have somebody. I had Mech queue it up for me that strike because it kept going to the Thorn one. I should finish that or delete that quest on my Hunter.
Oh, it's also worth noting that they give you the strike specific loot as well, because obviously those strikes are going away, so you won't be able to get that loot anymore. So by completing the planet stuff, you get like the DFAs, Silicon Aroma, all those ones.
So yeah, Watts, you're a fan of sidearms.
Yes.
So what's your thought on the Traveler's Chosen?
So you know what? Until today, I actually wasn't sure. So what I was trying to do is make builds with it. So if you don't know what it does, you kill people, and in Crucible, you kill one person. It gives you 3 stacks of this light thing. What's it called?
Something light. Traveler's Light.
Charge light.
Chosen charge light. It might actually be charge light. Charge with light, charge light. It's very confusing. So you get 3 stacks of that per 1 person kill in the Crucible. When you consume the stacks, it's called Gathering Light. Thank you, chat. You can hold down your reload, and it will consume the stacks and give you grenade, melee, and class ability. The energy. It gives you your stuff back.
That's what.
I was thinking of stuff like, Shinobu's Vow, where you get double skip grenades, and the skip grenades are better, so you can have those up all the time. Things like Kepri Sting for hunters, where you can throw down your smoke and get invis and get wall hacks more often. So I was thinking of trying all of those things, and I was like, oh, I don't really know if I'm enjoying this. So I just went to how I normally like to play, which is Top Tree Night Stalker, and just used the gun as a supplementary thing to how I was playing. And I really, really, really liked it, using it just the way that I normally like to play the game. Because also, as you get stacks of the Gathering Light, it improves the gun. It improves the handling, the reload, the target acquisition. So you can either choose to use it to get your abilities back, to consume those stacks, or you can just kind of sit on them and have the gun just feel amazing. So it's a pretty versatile gun. You can use it for specific builds. You can build around it completely. You can play it the way that you normally play and just kind of get your stuff back a bit faster. The thing that I found that is the craziest about it, though, is the range on that thing is very, very far for a sidearm.
Really? It's got good range.
Yeah. The range is really good. So
Sounds
yeah, it's
good.
I've been enjoying it since just playing the game the way I like to play the game and just having that with me. It got me out of trouble a few times because I kill people. I'd have 6 stacks. I'd be in a really tight situation, reload, get my smoke and grenade back, and I was able to keep people from closing in on me because of that. So there's cool stuff that you can do.
Nice.
But yeah, the base stats are real good.
Yeah, I did notice like it actually felt pretty decent for a sidearm. And I'm not a fan of sidearms. So when I'm forced to use a sidearm, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. But it was decent. Yeah, I liked it, and I did notice it definitely felt better once you got more stacks on it. I'm not really like, my mind doesn't think that way for the builds for procking the reload to get all your stuff back. At least I on my Hunter, I wasn't really playing that way because I'm always just abusing dodge and reload and all that stuff. So I didn't use it that way, but I did notice the increase in the potency of the gun, which was really cool. I could see it being really good for like a Titan, getting your abilities back, or throwing the fire out of your hands as a Warlock and all that. Like,
what if you consume your jelly grape grenade and then you just get it up over and over again?
You devour up, and never lose it because you just consume light and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good that it's not like, you know, well, I grabbed it and it was fun to use for a little bit, and like I don't think I'll ever use it again. It sounds like it's somewhere in the middle, which I think is fine, right? I mean, it's
a solid sidearm.
Yeah, I feel like there's a stigma as well that every new exotic has to be amazing, which would never work, you know, and it would, all your other favorites wouldn't be as good anymore and so on. But
Yeah.
It's good to hear that unlike some, I mean, you're going to have a few exotics that's like, well, I don't really want to.
Well, it fits really well with making builds. Like if you want to use the kit that is your super or the parts for your subclass, then this gun goes really well with being able to have that stuff up all the time. It's not a good exotic in terms of guns because you're wasting an exotic slot on a sidearm. It's pretty much, it is just a sidearm, really technically. Like sidearms. Well, I mean, you could use Anarchy. Anarchy is like obviously going to get you more mileage for DPS, but if you're going to be using your abilities, yeah, true. We spec out for that.
But no, I hear it. It's funny because like I actually do like sidearms, and so you know sometimes I go back just to use them. I'm like, actually, this is pretty nice up close. They're they shred sometimes. So the fact that this has more range than that, I'm excited to get it. And yeah, I think you know the most important thing for me when I'm looking at exotics these days, and we're seeing it, is they're giving us a window into where we're headed. And Wither Horde, I think, really struck me, you know, doing that area of effect damage and just the way that it is. I was like, okay, I see where we're headed, you know, a little more of the RPG fantasy. Right. The guns are no longer just a bullet that hits somebody. There's a lot of side effects. And now you're getting into you're getting ability energy and stuff back from this. That you have a bunch of loops starting to happen with your exotics. Yeah. I have to imagine that Beyond Light is going to really lean into a lot of this where you're like, well, I had this aspect with this fragment and I had this exotic on and I also had on the Traveler's Chosen, which gave me my whatever, you know, and I think that's really cool to have all these potential really deep RPG aspects if you want to go down that route.
Like if you're a fan of Demolitionists and you use it strictly to get your grenade kill things done, then technically this is your new weapon for that, because you just get a few kills, you get the Gathering Light or the Gathering, whatever it's called, and then you got your grenade back. You know, hold, reload, got it back. Then get some more kills, hold, reload, got your grenade back. Like I see that being the meta for getting those things done.
Yeah, cool. I'm definitely gonna get it, especially since it doesn't take like 6 hours doing like public events, you know. So I was glad to
it felt really good. It felt like, I'm seeing all the stuff that, you know, I've done the strikes before, I've done, you know, escalation protocol before, but it felt like it was in a good size for me to experience stuff that's going away and get stuff that's going away without me being like, oh my God, why again? Why? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's good. And you get like a whole new lore book to learn even more about what's going to happen with these planets going away.
Make sure to subscribe to our Patreon for extra special juicy lore details that we're totally masters at.
So much lore going on the Patreon.
Ryer reads them butt-ass naked with just a tiny little robe in front of him.
That's my OnlyFans. Wrong one.
Oh, that's right. This is Patreon. DCP Patreon. Okay, I'm just kidding.
My OnlyFans, I sit there and read lore naked.
Yep.
Not very popular, oddly.
I think it'd be really popular, actually. You'd make bank, dude.
It's true.
Throw in a doorknob or two and trust me.
Slow-mo, please.
Set for life, dude.
Slow-mo doorknob opening.
Should we talk about the TWAB? There's a lot in here.
There is a lot.
Actual
You're going to have to take us
TWAB.
word by word through it.
You must be talking to Tefty.
As you start, I'm going to use the bathroom, but I'll be right back.
Well, we don't really need to talk about the first bit, right? Because it's like, oh, you know, Zavala said to go do a thing. It's cool. Happy birthday, Destiny. It's been 6 years, but 7 is darker, they said. So
Yeah, 6,
7.
Like kind of real quick though, Destiny's birthday was kind of nice. It was like everybody was being super positive, sharing what like Destiny meant to them and how, you know, joining into the Destiny community kind of changed everybody's life. And in all honesty, I've been pretty down on the Destiny community over the last few months. You know, after, you know, some of the allegations had come to light, and it was nice to see like kind of the positive side of the Destiny community pop its head up again.
Yeah, it was. There's actually a message at the end of the TWAB from Dylan that's really, really nice. Yeah, it was good. It was great seeing everyone share all their stories.
Yeah, it's crazy thinking it's been 6 years. Like I met you guys because of this, because of Destiny.
Yeah.
You know, like we're like basically 300 episodes deep of a podcast because of Destiny. It's amazing. It's tough to quantify when you really stop. Like as a content creator, it's really hard to like wrap my head around all the things that have changed because of Destiny.
Yeah.
Like even not as a content creator, just as like having friends in the Destiny community. You know, like people who aren't content creators and people who are just like fun to hang out with, and I never would have met them.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That never happened to COD.
That's like the dominant theme, is that Destiny has created so many friendships that the majority are usually remote. You know, that like until you go to a convention, you meet somebody, and it's amazing. It's an amazing story.
Sure is.
You guys are talking about the 6 years and all that.
Yeah,
we're talking about being Warlock mains.
Of course, only. Did you mention the 167 million players already?
No,
not.
That was crazy.
That's an insane stat.
167 million
you know,
players.
Isn't
Granted,
it crazy?
Free
It's
for
crazy.
many of them, I bet.
But it's just like, when we first started playing Destiny 1, and it was actually kind of this niche game that it became because a lot of people left to go do other stuff. And then there was this core that just really liked the way that Destiny felt and played. And it felt like our niche game. Like, I play Destiny. What's that? Oh, it's a Bungie's thing. No one likes, but I really like it. And then hearing that many people play it, Destiny's a pretty big game. People know what Destiny is. It's weird to think about that. We were hipsters for so long.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird though, because like we don't know the active players, but I have to imagine with free it's gotten interesting.
At least 20 million are bots that are, aimbotting, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I assume that anything that was sus or got banned is not getting counted in that number. But like I think, I was talking about this last night with some folks, and I think it was like first Destiny was around 6 or 7 million, and like those are sold copies. I kind of wonder what it was for 2, because we do know there was a bit of a falling off, although very strong player base that only got, I feel like, stronger from a frequency and engagement perspective. But obviously, the main point was them going free and how many players that touched, and to see where that could potentially go would be, really interesting, especially with Beyond Light. So really cool though to be that big of a
incredible.
Big of a game, that have reached so many people,
Yeah.
What else? Where are we at?
Well, we're at Suit Up. Suit on up, everybody.
Suit up.
So again,
showing armor.
It's gonna be a long one.
Oh yeah, the new how they're adding new armor sets to the playlist.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I'll start.
Can't take TWAB away from
right,
Briar. It's his favorite time of year.
That's not true. It's my least favorite thing of the whole show every week.
I can read it. I read it already, so I can kind of do the main points. So Suit Up is about the armor. They said that they were going to be doing refreshers every year for stuff. So this is what you can expect on November 10th. They're adding new armor set to core playlists, which is Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. This armor shares a set of new geometry with decals and shaders specific to the activity. And they will create sets like this each year. So year 4, 5, 6. And this set will arrive alongside the next expansion. So they're showing in the image a Titan in Vanguard gear, Hunter in Crucible, and Warlock in Gambit. Warlocks do love Gambit.
Now, this is 3 different sets, right? Yeah,
I love Gambit.
3 totally different sets. Yeah,
right.
One for each
Strikes,
playlist.
One for Crucible.
It's kind of like, it's a little like Pursuit. I assume like Pursuit armor that you got to go after.
Right.
So that's cool. I mean, that's exciting to have something to chase. I think we've been asking for it forever. I mean, we're still at the point we want strike specific armor. So getting just the playlist done as a start, will be really good.
Well,
it's a little worrying to me that they're doing one a year. Like, is it going to take me a year to do this? Because I'm going to lose this dress before
Yes, Briar.
I mean, we had this conversation about getting Trials armor, which is
Mark
also
calendar.
Trials armor is only once a year as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
I like the
I was
armor.
gonna
Looks cool. I can make that work.
It's funny that with the default chairs, I don't know. I looked at it. It's hard to tell without seeing it like
It
full
is,
body and with the
I need to see
guns
them
and-
hunter pants. What are those hunter pants
Yeah.
like? You got some thick
Yeah.
thighs? What's going on there?
Yeah.
Is it
Are they all
poofy?
bunched
What's
up?
happening?
Or they slim fit? Do they taper?
Is it a robot leg?
it-
Who knows? Could
Is
be
it a
anything.
70s disco boot cut? What's the
I do like that.
See, now you're sold. All right. The thing that stood out to me, am I crazy? Because I saw this on the guns, all the stickers, the decals, I guess. And now they're mentioning decals here. Has this been discussed at all?
The
Decals?
decals.
Has it?
Like, what is
No.
the decal?
I think
What
it's
is the
just-
decal system?
I don't
If
know if
there
it's a
is one.
decal system. I think it's just my guess is that the armor and the same with the gun is it comes with different decals and stuff based on the activity. So Crucible has like the phoenixy, flamey stuff on it, and Vanguard has like lines and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I was speculating
think
because
it seems like you unlock the different decals from the activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same geometry, but different, like,
A different skin on top
Yeah,
of it
different
based
skin.
on.
that's just an ornament.
well, if you want to
Yeah.
get
But it
fancy.
has a different but it's the flame phoenix thing is a decal. You would describe
know-
it as it's a decal, like the flamey things you put on cars. Decals.
I wonder if
Right.
ornament is a word that to many Destiny players suggests that it's going to be a little more complex of a change. Like there might be some geometry change where a decal would be, this is a sticker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
what I'm
it's,
trying to say.
maybe
So
it's
you-
just setting expectations.
So explain this to me though. So you're saying you get a new geometrical designed set from Strikes, okay? Then you get a shader from the Strikes, certain color, which you can use across characters. So the decal, that's what you're saying. The print on it you can use across. Is that what you're telling me? You think a decal?
So
is?
I
I
don't
think
know.
the way that it works, at least from what I'm looking at, is I think you have one set of new geometry armor, right? So Hunter, Warlock, Titan get this new geometry armor. And then based on where you go with Strikes or Crucible or Gambit, you get the different color, the different skin on that geometry,
Mm-hmm.
is what I would guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's
So,
not. I
'cause they're
misunderstood
going
as
down a
piece-
road-
different geometry for each player.
Yeah, no, it's the
I
same
think that's what it
geometry.
is. Yeah.
Same
'Cause
geometry,
they're-
but each activity unlocks a different
really
decal
burst my bubble.
and shader.
They're going, yeah, and they're going down a road of like you can get this thing regardless of how you like to play, which we'll talk about with the sniper that's coming as well. But it seems like they're really going down that road. Like you get this armor if you play Crucible or Gambit, but it's going to look different based on how you like to specialize. And then if you're a collector, you can get everything.
Which is
I
cool
misread
because
that.
I don't want to play Gambit.
Why not? Gambit's great.
Maybe you will later with those.
Baby.
You've
baby.
never played the new version of
I
Gambit.
love
which
Gambit.
we'll
I haven't.
discuss.
I haven't.
And you are a
So-
Warlock main. Warlocks love Gambit, as by this picture. We know
That's true. I
So
do
does
like
Alf
Gambit.
from the 80s hit TV show.
That being
that.
said,
Yes.
the new guns in the gameplay for Beyond Light had a bunch of stickers on them, and I'm still holding out that there's going to be.
Don't worry.
and
We're
you know
going
in
to
Call
talk
of
about
Duty?
scarves
Yeah.
later, Fran.
Oh, custom
The
scarves.
Snipers are getting fancy.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Fancy scarves.
Well, the thing. Okay, so they did show the snipers, right? And it's the same kind of system. Like if you play a lot of Gambit, you get kind of a Gambit looking sniper.
We're getting to the
skin,
scarves, Briar. Don't you worry.
Crucible, Vanguard, both the same. But I like the callous looking one the best.
The callus one is really
The default.
cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
the
looks
default.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the gold and purple. I always have. I've always liked the callus armor and weapon set
Looks good.
from a visual perspective.
Oh, also one thing to know about the armor before we go to the sniper that I just saw is the way that you earn the armor is through completing activities or through vendor rank ups. Weekly challenge are also being updated to offer avenues for players to earn higher stat packages for these armor sets.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Seems a
it's
lot
going to be
like-
a path for you to get higher stat armor, which is
Yeah.
nice. There you go.
Yeah, it seems like in the same way that we've been seeing with like Eva recently with
Yeah.
the Solstice armor, finally getting to the point where it's like, oh, now you can get the high stat stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great. Just
Hey.
gives something to actually chase.
I think the Crucible one is the only one that looks good, personally. In that picture, like I need to see the other shaders because like the Vanguard shader is like, what is this?
I need to see these shaders on the decals too.
Yeah.
How do they shade?
Yeah.
But we also need to see the geometry for each class, and we can only see, you're saying you like the Hunter is basically what you're saying.
Well, it looks the coolest out of all of them, but I'm kind of like, these.
Right. But what does the Hunter Gambit one look like? I don't know.
I think it's the same geometry. It's just
geometry.
Green.
It's green.
Yeah. It's got it's got a Gambit decal,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Talking about the sniper, we're having pursuit weapons come back. So this is like the Randy's type stuff is what pursuit weapons, not revoker.
Mountaintop.
Not
Rituals,
mountaintop.
Basically.
Go away.
Mountaintop, yeah.
Never. No. So this is the sniper we saw in the trailer, and we're like, what is it? What does it mean? And it is this sniper. We don't know the name of it, but their goal for having pursuit weapons available is having them available per season. So each season will have a new pursuit weapon earned through a focused quest. So Banshee's going to give you a choice between Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit to earn the base model. And then you're going to be able to unlock the different scarves for the sniper. I'm calling it scarves. We're sticking with scarves. But it does say to make sure you take a moment to think about how you want to earn the weapon, as you'll be locked into specific objectives for whichever activity you pick. So when you're getting that base model, make sure you don't pick Gambit, Briar, unless you're a warlock.
That shouldn't be an issue. I just want the callus one. How do I get that?
Well, there you go. You don't even
any way you want. I was just gonna say that's the thing that excites me the most. I complain a lot about, a quest taking you through stuff, and it's like, can I please just raid, and it may not be that, but if you're a Crucible player or a Gambit player or a Strike player, effectively, it sounds like it's going to customize, hopefully, a path that's a little more locked into that style. But that sounds nice, because there are people who literally just play Gambit, and to be like, don't make me play the Crucible, don't make me play Strikes. That's where you get kind of upset. You're like, I just want the weapon, but I don't do that. So it feels like a really good step in the right direction.
I think it's an awesome step.
Yeah,
it's an awesome step because everybody can get the thing, but it also represents what kind of player you are, what you like to do, or how you got the thing, which I think is really cool. It's a representation of your personality in the game. That's dope. I
love that.
I want in like season whatever 15 or 16 or is like a BuzzFeed style quiz. It's like all the different tastes you have of how you play, and it will define your quest based on the many answers. So that way, because this is only like just Strikes, but like I'm not that like one, one path. So it'd be cool. I'm not being serious, obviously, but like I think there's something in there of going even a step further. Because also I'm still going to complain that I'm only doing Strikes, but it's a step in the right direction. I don't think it is just that, by the way, but it's a style they're defining, I guess.
I'm going to want all these skins personally. Although as a Warlock main and a Gambit lover, I'm obviously going to choose Gambit first.
Gotta go Gambit first, obviously.
Yeah.
I can't make myself do it anymore. I'm sorry.
You can't drink from the cup of phenomenalness.
I can't live this life.
So the way it's gonna work, you pick whatever you want to do to get the thing right away, and then once you finish the main quest, Zavala, Shax, and Drifter will offer you an additional quest that will reward you with a weapon ornament to fit the theme of that activity, and of course you will be able to get all three if you want it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I can't wait.
I love that.
Gambit, buddy.
I'm all Gambit all day. I can't wait to see
Gambit.
I can't wait to see that progress in the game for them to be able to make quests that way. Because like if you don't like the Crucible, you don't want to have to be forced to do 100 headshots for one part of the quest or whatever with a sniper and whatever. Like
still finishing.
And giving you ornaments based on what you do is really nice. I like that very, very much. Love that. Because that way it still has an identity to it, right? Like everyone can get the thing. You don't have to do all the stuff, but it's still unique to how you like to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
this. You can show it off.
The system.
Yeah.
It's not only the way you get it, and it's probably maybe even more important. It's that when you see me walking around with that sniper, you probably are going to assume that I like playing Crucible, or I like
That
Gambit
dude's
or
a
whatever.
huge poser. That's what I'm going to
exactly.
assume.
Dude, I'm gonna walk around with all Gambit gear, and then when somebody wants me to play, I'm just gonna be the worst.
Like an equip
What?
reckoner?
You're all decked out with Gambit. I'm like, yeah, I love green. Like, you thought
Listen,
I feel like
Gambit
that. I
color,
actually
Gambit
total
scarf.
I
poser.
went with Gambit Jadestone one season. Actually, I think I'm still wearing Gambit Jadestone on some of my stuff for the Hunter because I really like that shader.
Yeah, nah.
The Gambit scarf
Nice.
looks nice, man.
It does, yeah.
I'm
It
gonna
does.
have to get it.
Yeah, it looks really
It
good.
looks nice.
So nice.
whew. Okay.
Crucible?
Next, we have stuff. They're talking about how Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit are changing in the next season. So Crucible's pretty
Juicy stuff.
fast to go through-ish, but there's some exciting news in here. So
Mhm.
the featured modes for Crucible, they're cutting them down. We're now going to have Control, Elimination, and Rumble and Survival. Survival will, of course, have Freelance and regular Survival. The weekly rotator will be Clash, Mayhem, and Showdown. You'll have private matches. The limited availability modes will be Iron Banner, and Iron Banner Freelance will make its debut in
Really?
season
Yeah,
12.
That's
more stacked
awesome.
Teams, baby.
That is
Yeah.
really cool. That's something people have been asking for 6 years, literally.
Yeah. I feel like we were just talking about that like a month ago or whatever.
Yeah.
That
we
one's
had
really
it
exciting.
in D1.
Amazing.
And I
Yeah.
remember,
Oh, that's right.
playing it as like freelance, woo, the best.
Really?
And then the freelance one ended up being super sweaty, and the group one ended up being more chill.
Really?
Don't know
Yeah.
how that happened, but having freelance is definitely it's a good thing.
That all changes based on what the matchmaking they're doing too at the time.
Yeah, that was the first thing I'm thinking.
Yeah,
about is
definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Skill based, probably still, but
The only
That's
way that this
exciting.
kind of sucks is like if you're maybe just playing with one other person or two other people, will it only be 6 stacks in there? We'll see. We'll see how it ends up playing out. We
That
can
could
only
be.
tell based on our experience, right? If you go in there, it might be a bunch of 2s and 3s and 4s and not just 6 stacks. So we'll see. And hopefully it doesn't separate the community too much. Like the mode still feels good because Iron Banner right now actually feels really good
Mhm.
because so many people are just pushed into this one mode. But Destiny has a lot of players now, and with Game Pass, I'm sure they'll have even more. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that Game Pass announcement. That is
yeah,
just like I think that's the biggest news we got all week was that Beyond Light is coming to Game Pass. All of Destiny is coming to Game Pass. Like you don't have to buy any of it if you're playing on Xbox or PC.
then the weekend availability is, of course, Trials of Osiris, and they noted that adept weapons rewarded to those reaching the lighthouse return to Trials of Osiris in season 12, and then they're going to go into more details on what that actually looks like. What is an adept weapon in October?
We playing
That's
Trials
wow.
on PS5.
Yeah,
that's right.
I just after like 6 months made it to the lighthouse, and it actually felt really good because there was no cheat. Well, there was probably a few in there, but we managed through it. But
What'd you
Yeah.
play on PlayStation?
no, on PC, yeah.
Yeah.
And trust me, I suck. And I was trying to snipe because I'm the worst sniper. But I'm like, I'm going to get Revoker just to test it before it's gone, And yeah, it felt great. So
You're
yeah,
working
I
on
still really like
Revoker?
Trials.
You were
I
working
am,
on
I'm like-
Revoker while going flawless.
Yeah, I know. Well, my teammates hate me, but you know what? I actually had totally had the other way to look at it though is if you get one pick, you're like a hero in that moment
that's
because
true.
like there's
Yeah.
only 3 players. If you just can get one down, so when I did hit him, I was like, yeah, I
Yeah,
actually
that's-
did
that's a
okay.
good
I'm
point.
getting
Yeah, very
better,
true.
but I pointed it out because I think Trials does have a toxic kind of stigma around it. When you hear it as a fan, I hear from so many people that are like, I don't even want to like go near it. But honestly, it's up and down on PC. It's not like you hop in and it is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
Sometimes it can be, but it's
but
not like
sometimes it's
consistent.
chill.
Yeah. So then I label my streams chill trials, and I get a lot of people like, "What? Why would you name it that?" I was like,
Not
It's like
possible.
Sometimes it can
oxymoron.
be.
I'm not mad.
It's how people
not
think
mad.
of things. It's like I have a couple friends who they won't play the ranked version of like League of Legends or Apex, right? And it's like,
Mhm.
well, you're basically doing the exact same thing, but now you just get something from winning if you happen to win. So
Mhm.
it's kind of a lot of it is mentality where, just go in there, get some buds, have a good time. If you go flawless, great. If you
Yeah.
don't, finish the bounty and get some loot.
Exactly. So, but getting adept weapons will
Adept.
be really interesting to finally
Yes.
like to have something really to chase, because that does change it a lot when you're like if you
Adept
get an
weapons.
adept Astral Horizon, what is it going to have? A little more range on that thing? It already maps. That's the shotgun from Trials, and like
Yeah, I would have played
that's
way more
exciting.
this season if adept weapons existed.
Mhm.
Because I'd
I'm
have been like,
excited
well,
to
this
see
is
what they're doing with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would have felt like some of these cards are gonna suck, but I want these weapons. So
And not
That's cool.
only is Trials having adept weapons, but they're also looking to add adept weapons to strikes in a future season. So they're going to have more updates on that closer to season 13 on what to expect. But they're spreading out the adept love. Maybe this will be in the GMs. Maybe you finish a GM and you get an adept
amazing.
weapon.
I would love that.
Be cool.
That would be good.
Oof.
I would like a small chance for them to drop in regular strikes, so that every time I do a regular strike, because I'm grinding out a playlist for the 100th time, there's at least the glimmer of hope in my mind that something cool will happen.
0.01% chance drop rate.
Yeah,
Keep going,
yeah.
Briar. You're getting it.
Normally
Keep
I'd
going.
I'll
agree
get
with that,
there.
but actually, I think because it's an adept weapon, it should be master or something like that, which it really isn't that bad. Moving to Grandmaster is a big order. I mean, 'cause
Grandmaster is a much worse.
you have to get, to perfect power drops, and then you have to get, right now it's 15 levels of artifact power. It's a lot of time just to get there, but
It's also the
either way, it's
Grandmaster, though.
exciting. What's that?
It's also the Grandmaster. You
Yeah,
have to
well, but
summit
that's
the
what I'm saying.
mountain.
Just to be able to even do it, because you have to be 1075 right now, right?
Yeah.
I know, because I've been waiting to try it out, and I'm missing 1 point of power, so I'm pretty much almost
I
there,
wouldn't
but-
be surprised if they maybe added adept to GMs to begin with, and then maybe they were like, okay, well, maybe we can spread it somewhere else, or maybe they'll do something else and add that to strikes. We're gonna have the pursuit weapon that you can get every season, which will be
Yeah.
nice.
I
There's always gonna have
Adept
that.
might come out of Masters and stuff, because Masters are still somewhat challenging. You need a crew that's paying attention.
You need a crew, yeah.
You do,
but-
definitely. Yeah.
Anyway,
The other ways that strikes are changing. So Vanguard Strikes and Nightfall the Ordeal are going to be the only 2 playlist options. So just those now, not like the bunch of other crap that's on there. I don't even know what the other stuff is. Is it
Basic
private match
strikes?
strikes? I don't freaking know. Each playlist will continue to offer weekly challenges for powerful loot. Nightfall the Ordeal will continue to feature matchmaking at lower difficulties and increased rewards for higher difficulty options. So that's what we're getting for strikes. Pretty short and sweet. Excited about the adept weapons though, and how that happens.
Yeah, that's the big deal.
You guys ready for Gambit? Because Gambit is massive.
There's a lot.
I'm
I
gonna
read through it
start
already,
this off with hi Gambiteers, which is
Hello.
what it says in the TWAB. Hello.
I'm listening.
Brian
Hey, Gambiteers.
Hefty's face is like, yes,
Yeah.
it is I, Gambiteer.
Wow. Let me get ready for this.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, take notes, Brian, take notes. So the goals that they wanted to do for new Gambit is they wanted to build a more approachable Gambit Prime, keeping the 1-round format with a longer round but without the Gambit Prime armor perks. Rebalance the moats phase to last 2/3 of each match rather than half of the match. Speed up the Primeval compared to Gambit Prime to give more of the feeling of a boss rush. I like boss rushes.
Okay.
Those are fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read through this because they drop changes all the way through it. So we started with the Gambit Prime encounters full stop. However, the Reaper buffs, the large bosses that come in enemy waves were too tanky. So we pulled them all down to mini boss or elite level. The pacing should feel like how Gambit feels for a pickup group or how Prime feels for a fully kitted team. We also play tested the having the moats phase target a score of 150 and or have a heavier moat drain, but this allowed organized teams to steamroll even more effectively, not less. So we pulled back to the current Gambit Prime moat target and drain. We started with the Gambit Prime blockers, but pulled the Taken Captain from the blocker lineup as he proved a little too potent for 10 moat blocker. He's too strong.
That freaking
strong.
captain.
You know what they're putting in his place, though? A phalanx.
Mountaintop for
Ah, not better. Not better.
They say who can be tough to kill, but not as lethal as the Taken Captain. Well, our geometry will disagree with you. I've been
Mhm.
knocked into a slight rock sticking out of the floor and died instantly.
Pebble. Death by pebble.
And of course, because they're getting rid of the armor perks for Gambit, there's no 20 moat giant blocker anymore. He is out of there.
Good.
We kept the invasions during moat phases at 3, just like Gambit Prime, but pulled back the minimum time between invasions during the moat phase from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be much. They don't want to have people getting invaded back to back to back to back to back. So hopefully this is going to help with that feeling.
Cool.
At least that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's the one that stuck out most to me so far.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you just like cleared it and was trying to get a few motes and somebody's already in there and you're like, God dang it. So you gotta get 10 more seconds. It's still not a ton, but it's more.
It's a little bit more time to
Twice as
collect
much time.
yourself. Maybe get some heavy ammo to combat what's happening.
Yeah.
For the boss fight, we started with the Gambit Primeval fight, removed the timed Slayer buffs, increased the Primeval health and potency of the Slayer buff given by when killing envoys. So in Gambit Prime now, what you do is, a pool happens and you have to stand in the pool to get the Slayer buff to kill things. They're instead moving that buff to the envoys. So you kill envoys and you get a damage boost to killing the Primeval.
Yeah, just because it's like it doesn't. Is it saying it's not going to continually stack up to like 5x, on its own for the buff? Is it that buff that it's talking about? The boss buff. It just by time it just keeps stacking up, and now you're saying you have to kill envoys.
I don't know if so. I know obviously if you kill the envoys, you get some of that buff faster, but you do also stack it up over time. I don't know if they're keeping the overtime stacking of it.
Okay.
It doesn't say specifically, but they do say that they're going to respawn the envoys every 40% damage done. So 40% damage done to the Primeval. So that kind of makes me feel like maybe it doesn't go over time because they're going to keep respawning the envoys for you to get a Slayer buff.
Okay. Yeah, chat's saying I'm mixing up regular Gambit with Prime, which is probably true.
So the reason they're doing this is if you do get invaded and the Primeval is healed a lot, you can choose to get that opportunity to go get more Slayer buffs and catch up. So you don't necessarily need to kill the envoys every time you do 40% damage. You don't need to, but if you're like, oh man, we really need some extra damage, you can go ahead and grab that. So they said that the fight length ends up somewhere in between original Gambit and Gambit Prime. So we adjusted the invasion timer during the Primeval phase to match right in between Gambit and Gambit Prime timing.
Okay.
So generally, they said the mode is going to be a little bit quicker than Gambit Prime, mostly due to the shortening of the boss phase and removal of the larger bosses from the front. But hopefully, it still keeps the core feeling. Basically, it's going to be a bit faster than Gambit Prime.
I like everything.
Faster
about
Gambit
this.
is better.
I like everything about this except for the fact that it's going to be quicker matches. I want to spend lots of time in Gambit.
Yeah.
I would like to see a line item in here that says also heavy ammo will drop 3 times as much as currently does.
But then that makes invasions worse.
Yeah.
Invasions, the only guy who ever comes over on invasion has heavy ammo.
True. Truth.
Yeah, they're going to be full regardless.
All right.
Oh God, yeah, please no xenophage in there. Yeah, it's interesting that it's more of a tweaking mashup of what they've learned from both versus a reinvention, right? And my big question though is like, are we going to be? I guess, I don't know about maps. I was thinking, are some on planets that are going away? But like, for me, that's the most important thing. I just can't stand to play that. There's nothing wrong with the maps. It's been those maps for a while now, and I'm like, ready to.
Gambit hasn't had any love with maps.
Yeah, let's get some darkness enemies too, right? I assume there's a chance for that, so that could be really help mix it up on really top of it. Like, we just need
darkness doesn't really like Gambit.
Yeah, we need new bosses.
Besides not to play.
We need new maps. For me, that's all.
It's not a Gambitier.
It's not a Gambitier.
Yeah.
Let's go, Gambitiers.
Let's go, Gambitiers.
Gambitiers. I love it.
And really, so that was it for Gambit. But they do say that the things that they're going to be talking about as they approach launch is the economy, Eververse, Sandbox, and more. So
cool.
And they do want to talk even more so about solo queue and Iron Banner. So I don't know what that's going to say, but
maybe the match
looking good. I also highly recommend everyone goes and takes a look at the TWAB and reads the very last part, which is just Dylan talking about his journey with Destiny and kind of what the community and the game has meant to him. But he also does slip in a little tease where he says that he's heard whispers from the Sandbox folks on upcoming changes to 110 hand cannons.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sounds important. Get
yes,
them while they're hot.
please.
They are nerfing
And-
the range.
Less range, less damage, slower fire rate.
Yeah, bringing it down to 100, lowering the range.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's going to be, but Criminal's Dagger is not being sunset, so Iron Banner is obviously happening right now. You could try get a good roll if you want to.
Yeah, is there anything you guys are chasing in Iron Banner right now?
Murder.
It's funny. I want to use it for Revoker because every snipe counts for 2, I believe. So that's really nice if you never picked up Revoker. But outside of that, I guess my auto, I always want to say Hero's Burden, and that's the SMG. Yes,
the Ford Path. Yeah.
I could use a slightly better one of that one. It's solid, man. That's a good auto. Feels a bit.
I haven't got a good one yet. I would like to get. I'm sitting on like 3,000 tokens right now for Salad Man. So
yeah, I must have a lot.
Dump them, but
go to the salad bar, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna have a stream of just dumping tokens.
Just
get a good fool's remedy if you have.
It's a sidearm, right?
Full, yeah. The sidearm from Iron Banner is really good.
What's a good sidearm roll? Do you know off the top of your head? Because I feel like
I just like my kill clip feeding frenzy one. I just really like that because the gun already kills really fast, and then when you have kill clip on there, you will not lose a gunfight. It's impossible.
Yeah, see, mine's because I have a feeding frenzy and Eye of the Storm. I don't have the extra damage. So, yeah,
range can be really nice on that gun though, because that can also get some pretty nice range on it.
Mm-hmm. You see, this is one of these things. I'm not really a fan of the sidearms, so even a decently rolled Fool's Remedy, I'm not really going to be preferring that.
I use it in PvE too.
But there's gnawing hunger. Gnawing hunger to shreds.
Gnawing hunger's, yeah, it's just so good. It's ridiculous.
And I've got like 5 perfect rolls. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about gnawing hunger, man. It just feels ridiculous. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Secret sauce in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's already an hour 40 or so into the podcast, so we haven't done questions yet. We might have to do a shortened version of the questions.
Do like rapid fire?
Can we try rapid fire? Like really try? I'll get
fried
like actually try rapid fire.
Like actually try our best.
We can try. I don't know. We should mention Patreon real quick. We want to thank all our Patreon members. We really do appreciate it. It's what holds the show together. It's what allows us to do all sorts of cool stuff. It's what allows us to start new podcasts and to pay for art and to pay for everything. And we really do appreciate it. If you have a couple extra bucks to send our way, we really would appreciate it. Let's do some Twitter questions.
Yeah. Thanks for supporting the show.
Thank you, everybody.
Krylock says, can you discuss the differences between the new Xbox Series X and S? Will the S still get 60 FPS on Destiny? I think we covered that one.
Side quest Monday. Side quest 1 p.m. Pacific.
We covered that.
Thuggy T says, as a person who for the most part only plays Destiny, would you guys recommend I get the Xbox 4 digital? I like how he calls it Xbox 4.
Thank you for that.
Definitely. The Xbox and Game Pass, that's a great deal.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to pass that up right now.
But note the specs, like we said. There's a big spec difference between those two.
If you're trying to do 4K, then yeah.
I'm gonna predict even outside of that, but we'll see. I don't think you'll have as parity of graphics as you think, because the Xbox Series X is beefy. So if you want those visuals, keep that in mind.
1000 Bolt says, love the show and the crew. Do you guys and girl think that we gonna keep using the artifacts since we're getting the aspects for stasis subclasses? Hope you all have an amazing night. And please don't eat Briar.
The mods from them? Yeah.
So first off, we're definitely eating Briar.
Yeah, you can't stop that.
Wait, what was the second part? I got so
like... Yeah, I don't know. I think I think they're going to adjust it and modify it with stasis being there. I don't think it's going to remain exactly the way it is, but I think it is going to evolve. But I don't think it'd be weird if they took away the artifact. Just straight up like, okay, artifact's gone now. You had fun, but now it's gone. Yeah.
I mean, you only have but we're only talking about the new super having a couple more like mod things on it, right? I mean, it's not like you can't, you know what I mean? Like Oppressive Darkness, and like you can't just get that some other way. So I think it's absolutely there to stay, right? Like you said, Teft, I think it'll be more about tweaking it, and frankly, they've got to have a list of like nobody ever uses this stuff,
right?
But also the learnings of the stuff that's like, okay, this is working, and how else do we? Maybe they evolve it.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe the artifact gets an aspect and fragment system, or I don't know, but it'd be
that's what I was thinking.
to see if the artifact changes.
It'd be cool to see that, yeah.
Because that's your like when you think about it, right? It's like only when you're in that super do you get to do some of this new stuff. So yeah, actually, now that we've said it, right, having the artifact also do something like that would help, create some parity between that way of thinking.
Some
so
sandbox evolution.
Yeah, it's worth noting too that we're still 2 months out, and they're dropping like big news about this, about changes. Like I would expect more big news to be happening.
Oh yeah,
so stuff like this could change dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Wagner says, do you think the stranger will be our vendor for Europa or some yet introduced NPC? The stranger seems like a good one.
Fish, I think.
The fish.
I wish.
That'd be dope.
Just checks in every now and then.
Totally forgot
check
about
in with
that
the
thing
fish
until you mentioned it. I think it will be the stranger. Yeah,
it sounds like it.
Makes sense.
In the same way, Eris came back and pretty much got
Anna
stuck
Bray
with
was introduced with Mars and became the vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Brizzle says, what's the best way to view old episodes? YouTube only goes back to episode 74. And should all exotic weapons be able to create orbs of light? This would bring back those without a catalyst up a little in usefulness. Yes, all exotics should create orbs of light.
100%.
And you can go check out Holtzman's channel. When we initially started this podcast, we were initially putting it on Holtzman's YouTube channel. So the first bunch of episodes are there. And then you can go even farther back in the catalog and go to Planet Destiny. And I think the first like 70 episodes were there before we called it the DCP.
I was just thinking, maybe if Mr. Aries is out there to remind us, but you could actually build a playlist with all of them that goes across both channels, I think. So,
oh, really? That's a great idea.
Yeah, just put it in one place on the DCP channel. I'm pretty sure that works.
That's really smart. We will look into that. Rybread says, how come Bungie doesn't make it possible to use shaders on exotic weapons? Because they want to sell you ornaments. Callum McPherson says, if you had the chance, which strike would you like to develop into a dungeon?
Ooh,
strike
interesting question. Ooh, strike into a dungeon. What's the
Can I pick a D1 strike?
Yeah.
Yes.
Although that might be very similar, but the a la cool strike where you're just wandering around in the darkness.
Cool.
I mean, just imagine an entire dungeon that's just dark.
Sunless.
That would be amazing.
The Sunless Cell, was that it?
Sunless Cell, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good pick right there.
Yeah.
It does have that's where the night from the dungeon we have kind of originated almost. But
those are my two favorite.
It's just the darkness that I like, being in a room and not knowing where things are coming from and hearing it is really creepy. And I'd love to have a dungeon that genuinely feels creepy.
That strike boss had the most like crazy moments of any of the strike bosses, I think.
Yeah.
Just like screams of glee and like hilarity. It was good.
Yep.
Saver JW says, knowing most of you are hunter mains. No, we're mostly warlocks.
I am a warlock main.
Baby.
Yeah. What are the other two stasis subclasses are going to try out? Ice Wizard or Angry Yeti? The Angry Yeti does look like a lot of fun.
Angry Yeti? Is that what'd you call it, Briar?
Bahama.
Ice Wizard, the Bahama. The Bahama Mama.
That's the Angry Yeti?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to try them all.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
I'm gonna get them all, obviously.
Yeah,
you gotta try. Right. Whenever a new subclass comes out, you gotta try all that, and it's shouldn't be too hard to get them and try them out.
Yep.
The staff looks overpowered. I'll try it out.
Isn't that why you started like playing on a warlock recently, Watts?
No, I just wanted the armor. But I wanted the armor to get the ornament because the ice staff looks cool. And I was like, maybe I do want those ornaments
So it
just in
was
case.
influenced by the ice staff.
Just in case.
Ice staff is cool.
Just in case.
I think they all look great.
Yeah, they do. Wayne
didn't
says,
feel
I'm
like-
hoping to hear some Franomics on how best to prepare for November 10th.
Oh, man.
All right, Fran, teach me because I don't know.
No, I mean, we have so much time now. There's nothing you need to do. So it's like, meaning if you get up to 1050, 1060, other than getting weapons and stuff, I don't have any economical advice for this one. I don't think. Right.
Get the exotics.
Yeah. Well, meaning Franomics is more about getting your new power per hour and stuff. Right. Whereas like we have so much time to just power level now. But once
Play
that
Iron
Beyond Light
Banner.
comes out. Yeah.
So we're going to have to start thinking about holding on to bounties, right?
Yep.
Please, for the love of God, no. God, I know that
I
I
hope the
shoved it in
timestamped.
the last podcast I was on. I was like, that's the announcement I'm waiting for from Bungie, man.
All
Celebrating
bounties
across
disappear.
That's what I want to
the
hear.
galaxy. By the way, I know some of you have been stacking bounties. You don't have to worry about it. And sorry if you did, but they're all going to expire. Beyond Light is a fresh start for your leveling process because it sucks to save bounties. It's not fun. Anyway.
Hawkeye says, does anyone think the faction system of Destiny 1 could make a return in Beyond Light? No,
I
probably
love
not.
it. Please. I think it's silly that like people who are
It's
new
out
to the
there.
game have no idea about Future War Cult, New Monarchy, Dead Orbit,
Yeah.
and like well,
They tried to bring it back, but it just didn't work out.
it failed
So
miserably.
they said they were going to like rejigger it, but we haven't heard anything since. But I don't think we'll see it this time. We would have heard about it by now.
Yeah.
But it makes me sad. Like people don't know about Lakshmi just chilling, representing Future War Cult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Christopher Jones says, with the Xbox 4's release date finally being announced, do you reckon Bungie knew the release date ahead of time and decided to delay Beyond Light to match up with that timeline?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, really? You don't think they chose November
Definitely
10th
not.
because they wanted to release all their versions at once?
Definitely not.
Oh, that was my first theory when I saw it too.
No.
I was like,
Are you
they're
serious?
gonna do it. Why do you say definitely not?
They needed more development time.
Oh,
yeah,
like-
but
yeah.
still.
Sorry, I misunderstood the question of like, did they know that? Like, meaning they could have chosen maybe November 5th, but like, why would or end of October? But like, why not just go November 10th when everything's launching? Sorry, that's what I meant by that. They didn't.
I see.
I misunderstood the onus of the question. No, they didn't hold back because of the launch date. They chose the launch date because everything comes out then. I'm convinced now. So
Yeah, that works in my head. Rick says, what's up with Bungie.net and the companion app? It's a mess. Not working for days now. I had no idea. Is it not working?
You can try and contact at Bungie Help or maybe read the at Bungie Help notifications.
the Destiny 2 app, I was using it.
Dim's
they might
been it's been a little slower the past few days, but it's been working now. It didn't work on Tuesday,
Maybe
but
need to
it's
Maybe they're
It's
working on
fine
the
now.
APIs or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing that. Back end maintenance.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The new API changes and stuff. Maybe something happened.
Achievement Raider says, do you think we'll have a fourth flavor of armor we have to balance mods around, i.e. arc armor takes shoddy mods, void sniper, etc. stasis armor flavor?
Yeah, that's a good question. Or
What if we're getting a new weapon?
yeah, or
like
new
a
weapon
new-
flavor.
That'd be nice.
Or
That'd
what
be
they're
so
doing,
nice.
are they getting rid of the affinity thing and changing it around
Maybe.
completely so it's no longer associated with elements, and that possibly is getting a revamp along with the whole new sandbox.
That'd
be nice if it did. Didn't they say? For some reason, I thought they hinted at that already. That there was something going on with the way affinity stuff worked,
Yeah.
and they wanted to adjust it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's more like what you were just saying, Tef. That it's a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
Wayne says, question for everyone. What's your favorite Drunken Guardian moment in the last 6 years?
Drunken Guardian.
Yeah.
What qualifies as that?
There's no follow-up,
Like meaning
really.
like playing a raid drunk or like hanging out with drunk in real life guardians.
I mean,
That was
Probably
fun.
playing the
Guardian
game,
Con
right?
takes the cake for
Guardian
me.
Con,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Drunk Guardian Con was pretty great.
Yeah.
Distinct.
Yeah,
I don't know. Karaoke was pretty solid at PAX.
Yeah. I was gonna say Seattle
Karaoke
karaoke
was
was solid
Seeing
for that.
Pope singing, that was
Mhm.
great.
Lots of dicks.
Yep.
There was a lot at the end of the night.
Double dick.
Tons of dicks.
Oh man.
I feel like
We went back to war.
I feel like anytime we raid, or day one raids always end up becoming like drunk by the end of it. Like we're so exhausted.
Drunk on like
alcohol.
tiredness.
Yeah.
That's
Delirium.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I usually don't drink and get like sloshed on stream.
Yeah.
Personally.
No, that only happened once. I just ended stream because I was laughing too much.
Yeah. That's a pretty good spot.
That was years ago during trials. That was fun.
Yeah, I don't have any memories of actually like, anything like that.
One time I was
For those
farming
reasons,
Omnigul and I got pretty wasted with Wilson, like real hammered.
Really?
That adds up.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Ringo the Digger says, in the Hunter's Icy comma, is the Hunter's Icy comma even cooler because it's a scythe? Icy death ninjas. Also, I teach embryology at university/med school. So if you want to know more about the cloaca, hook me up. No, thank you. Do not want to know
Like,
more
where
about
is
the
this
cloaca.
going?
Yes,
Oh.
please send me all of your facts at
Yeah.
Taft on Twitter.
I'm good. I've got all the cloaca facts I ever
Wait,
need to know.
Did that come up because that only came up with me on the Among Us stream, I think.
Last
Were you guys
No.
talking about
last
that on the show
episode.
too?
No, it came up
Oh.
on the Among Us stream because of Holtz dropping
The last-
knowledge about the anatomy of a chicken.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and I was like,
Cloaca.
I had no idea. And why do you know this, Holtz?
Maybe it's a
Suddenly
big
I was Cloaca while playing Among Us.
embryology.
Listen, he does like mama birding. That's all I'm gonna say.
True.
All right.
What
Noted.
was the question? Did we answer the question at the beginning part?
Yeah, we nailed it. Stanley the Gamer says, question for Watts. Seeing as how you also watch anime, what anime characters would you compare the DCP live crew to?
Oh my gosh, this is impossible.
Too hard?
I'd have to think about that for a long
All right.
time. You know how many
Jacob
anime
says-
shows there are? 7 billion. You know how many
7,
come
8?
out every season? Like 70 new shows. I'm gonna say that Briar is definitely Uzaki-chan though.
Oh, he sounds heroic and good looking.
Oh, he is. Definitely he. Definitely. Google Uzaki-chan. Just trust me.
I can't spell it.
Maybe not on
Jacob
Rule
says,
34.
Sounds like a character that gets eaten by his friends.
Yeah,
in real
right.
life in the
Somebody's gonna
episode.
eat this
That's
poor
what I'm
bastard.
thinking happens.
Jacob says, what's one thing you're going to miss that's going into the content? Well, I haven't even considered that. I don't think I'm going to miss any of it.
Definitely the raid stuff. I mean, like,
Okay.
I don't play it as often, but losing the option to go play Leviathan is kind of like, oh man. So probably that. Maybe just Leviathan. Actually, there's probably a couple strikes that I need to look at a little more closely that I'll kind of miss. Like, actually, isn't Pyramidion going in? I think
Mhm.
so.
Mm.
So I'll miss
Yeah.
like Pyramidion for sure.
Is Citadel getting sunsetted?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna miss that map.
I left that map about 4 times today.
Wow.
You
We-
left
we
it
went
because you
in, I
like it
was
so
like,
much, right?
no.
You're like, this map is so dear to my heart. I can't play it too often because it's gonna spoil
Can't
it.
spoil
So,
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like your favorite song.
Yeah, I just got to leave that map in
Yeah.
the middle Iron Banner.
Definitely.
Time for revolution. Sorry.
Probably Crown of Sorrows.
Oh, that sounded like it was going to be a good
Okay,
segue,
so-
though.
Time for Revolution 2020 edition says, if you could combine any 2 exotic weapons or armor, what would they be and why? This is going to be hard. He says, love the podcast. Even though you guys hate hella hard on warlocks.
What?
It's
We're
still
Warlock
a
Main.
Main.
Remember?
On my way home for work. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
Listen,
about.
I
Time
don't
for
appreciate the
Revolution. This
DCP
sounds
community
very-
slander.
You're putting me in the corner. I
There's
don't like
a
it.
whole lot of tone going on with these comments.
Yeah.
And I'm wagging
Yeah.
a finger
Yeah.
right now.
I think that's a valid finger to wave.
As a Warlock main, this finger is a wagon.
Yeah.
I want
You know, all
Dragon
classes are
Shadow and Gemini Jesters. That's what I want. I want
Wait, isn't it
those
supposed to be
together.
a gun and a piece of armor?
That's what
No.
I was
Too
like,
exotic.
you
Nope.
can wear both of those things.
Nope.
So I
Wait,
was
you
like,
can have 2 pieces of armor?
Yes. Dragon Shadow, Gemini Jesters.
Dragon Shadow
Reload.
and the worm husk. Boom.
No, go away.
Definitely.
Excuse me, if you're
That'd
having
be-
A
Gemini
true
Jesters, I can
Warlock
have.
This is definitely a Warlock main. This is what we call a topper. This is topper logic right here. I see what's happening.
Stoic Silver 360 says, do you think we will receive a final new legendary weapon before the season ends?
Legendary?
New legendary? No.
It's going to be the farewell, and it's going to be from Asher as he goes into a fiery dust ball and dies.
Nobody's going to miss him either.
I
probably bring
like him. He's great.
Asher Mir.
He has personality.
Sure sounds
bad
like a
one.
bitch.
I always thought he sounded like he needed to be on He-Man with that voice that he has. Like he just sounded like a little like Skeletor's relative.
Yeah.
Well, Guardian. I was gonna say, damn, tip my tongue. Repeat the question again, and it'll come back.
Rapid fire, too late. Hollow Tide says,
Dang it, come on.
Hunters are
That was a
poop
good
heads.
answer.
Thank you for reading this, Briar. I want it on the record. I would never turn cannibal and eat you. I am very torn on that comment, but I appreciate not getting eaten.
Huh.
Hooded One says, since it's
Probably
the
won't.
anniversary of Destiny launch, I'd love to hear everyone's deep. Oh, that's going to take too long, Hooded. I'm sorry. Fricado says, if you had the cast of Destiny characters playing Among Us, who would be the most sus character? Watts.
Oh, what?
Drifter.
Definitely not me.
Definitely Watts.
Oh wait, I thought you were saying the in-game characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's about
my
in-game
bad.
characters.
It is. Briar just
My bad.
suspicious of
I
me
just
so
went right
much.
to Watts.
Aldrin automatically is going to be sus. And Arak Jalal, whatever the crap. Dead Orbit.
What?
Yeah, he's sus all the time.
Oh,
Why?
yeah,
Because of his
he's-
gothic.
He's
like,
sabotaging
look? Dude, come
everything
on.
because we got to
He's
leave the solar
weird.
system. Blah blah blah.
Oh, is that what he's doing right now? I didn't play the new quest yet. So
Yeah,
is
that's what
Rock
he's doing.
Jalal like up to no good?
Oh yeah, he's
Or you
totally
just
up to
making
no
this
good.
That's what they always been
Full of
doing.
it. You're full of crap.
That's what they've been up to since
He's
the
the
beginning.
best scout rifle.
He's actually
bet
always trying to
Zavala-
convince us to leave. That's what he's. That's what.
I bet
Dead Orbit's
Zavala
about.
sounds super sus if he's trying to defend himself. You're just
Yeah.
like, Zavala, you sound like you're lying, man.
Yeah,
You sound like a dirty liar.
Cade would
I
have been
think you're
pretty
right.
sus,
Guys,
actually.
Aldrin is
Hard to read.
100% sus.
Cade's dead. How dare you?
I know. I'm just saying.
Speak of the dead with more
He'd be
respect.
sus because he's dead.
You know what?
Like, is that
Actually,
Cade? He's
that
dead. What?
that chicken on the farm. That's
The
I'm not so
cloaca.
sure about that chicken. Yeah, especially with that cloaca thing going on.
Cade's
Super
chicken's
sus.
cloaca.
Super sus that chicken.
The
dude.
Colonel's cloaca.
Oh my god.
The Nuda Club says, pick your poison, walk down a hallway full of Legos with your bare feet, or drink curdled milk.
Oof.
How much curled milk?
Legos,
I'm gonna
easy.
go
Like
with-
a
Good
shot?
question.
Not even
Let's
difficult.
go with a pint glass.
A pint? Oh,
Yeah.
no. I was going to say, because walking over Legos is awful.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
it hurts.
Yeah, but if
Oh, no.
you know,
It's
what-
torture.
you know, what wasn't like defined in the question though is the
What's that?
speed or the
Yeah. The distance.
yeah. Like you could
Volume.
tiptoe through and be like, oh, that's a Lego. No, not 7 on that. Oh, not
Type
7
of
on that.
Legos.
If you have to
Hold on, let me
sprint
get a
across a
spreadsheet.
hallway full of Legos because axe murder, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Axe murder.
Jeez,
Well,
you
I'm
know,
going with the
something bad.
curdled milk if I'm anywhere. If the choice is between axe murder and curdled milk, I'm definitely going curdled milk.
That was indeed the question.
Zagarian says, question, why is Fran always sus?
What?
Yeah, what's up with that, Fran?
Where did that
See,
come
look at
from?
that. Look, even right now, it'd be like Fran's getting extra defensive.
Yeah.
Why is he so
That-
defensive?
Why were you?
Get him out of
Why
there.
were you in the
Kick him
electrical
off.
room, Fran? What were you doing in electrical? Were you in the vent?
Why weren't you turning on the lights, Fran?
That's pretty sus, dude.
You're standing in electrical.
You're
being
walking
weird.
away
I
from the
was
reactor,
What are you
not
doing?
fixing
there
it.
with Briar. Briar, you saw me, right? You saw
I
me.
didn't see shit, man. I was reading chat.
He's lying. I'm telling you, it's Briar. So sus.
Briar's already dead, Fran. You can't pin it
Yeah,
on
we ate
him.
him.
they already killed
We
me.
ate him. Yeah. Space is cold. You get
Oh,
hungry.
Among Us. Ruined
Mr. Goodbye
friendships.
says, is asking a Twitter question for DCP sus? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Warner says, if you guys could voice act one character in any cartoon, what would it be? Any
Ooh.
cartoon voice acting you'd like
Whoa.
to do?
Any cartoon.
I
Like
have no
existing
idea.
cartoons, obviously.
Mm.
I
That's a tough question
would-
because you feel like you have
so
reverence for the
many.
person who already voice acted the role.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right?
All the
Yeah.
ones that I like, I'm like, well, they did such a good job. And that's probably why I like the character.
Yeah, right?
How about a game character?
It's honestly a really hard job to But if it was just like a dream to do it,
See, okay. If it was a game character,
I want to be like
I'll be third ghoul in the third level, so I can do some that type of thing. That's my voice actor.
I honestly don't know, but I'd love to be an X-Men. You know, it's not one of them.
I want to be a voice actor in whatever Holtzman's new video game is going to be called, and I'm just going to talk shit about Holtzman the entire time.
That's your.
You see this pixel? This pixel would have been better if Holtzman wasn't there.
Yeah. Where are all the studded belts in this video game? Holland Love says, which number is higher? Total number of alerts for your postmaster or total number of alerts on your phone right now?
Oh, my phone, 100%.
Well, my email, let's just say.
Yeah.
Yeah, email is the rough one, right?
I mean,
Email.
postmaster, you get capped out. There's only so
Yeah.
many alerts.
Emails,
Email.
there's no end to the madness.
No, you get capped out of email too.
What are you topping out at?
I got 38,297, and it pretty much just stays under 40,000 all the time.
What is my email?
Yeah, it's no contest. I don't think for anybody. Super sus if your postmasters.
I'm in the
worse
six figures, so I'm just not going to say the number.
It's 7 figures.
Knowing Tefty, this checks out.
I wish there was a way to just turn
Most
the
of
red
those are
number
mine.
off.
Yeah. Can I turn off the damn number? Because it's irrelevant for me.
The notifications.
I'm not. No, just the
I
number
bet you
that
there
says how
is-
many you missed.
Oh, as
How
opposed
many
to
new
like just a
ones?
red dot or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you there's a way.
Yeah, the
5
red dot
iPhone
would be
tricks
permanent.
You didn't know. It's at the bottom of like your favorite website. Click at the bottom. There's like one of those articles.
5 iOS.
I also
Sure,
don't check
tricks you didn't know
voicemails.
about
I've got 83
notifications.
voicemails that I haven't listened to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one called.
Who's calling you? Super sus.
I don't know.
Exactly, right?
Nobody that I care.
Call and leave a
Like,
message? No thanks, scammer.
If you're not my mother, my wife, or my kids, I pretty much don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
And I might read the voicemail. Maybe.
Yeah. At best. That weird transcription,
Yeah.
right?
If it's really important and you didn't text, like what the hell?
If it's really important, you would have left a message, you would have called, you would have texted, you would have done everything, you would have showed up.
Yeah. But you would have texted
Yeah.
first and then maybe called if it was super important.
I find that phone calls are like, I want to interrupt your day for something that I think is more important than what you're doing right now. And I find that offensive.
That is Pope Bear to a T.
Oh, man.
That's exactly what happened. So, Brian, I'm more important. What are you doing? Yes, listen. That's Pope Bear. To be fair,
Sam's,
it was more important.
it was legitimately more important often, but he was a caller. He was a phone talker.
Yeah.
But that was because we never responded to him on his
That is true.
thread.
Yeah. He had to.
Yeah. Sam
did
says, if you had superpowers, what would your superpower be? And would you be a hero or a villain? And we got a superpower queued up. What would you be? What would you do?
I want to pick something interesting. Because always like, I just want to control time so I can sleep for like 17 hours a day and still wake up at 6 a.m.
Time
and be
travel would be
productive.
dope.
Sounds incredible. What?
Yeah. I am 100%
That is
down
what
with
I
time
want.
travel.
I like sleeping.
And I'm not binary. I'm going to be a hero and a villain. Depends on the mood I'm in.
Yeah. Why can't I be in some chaotic neutral gray area?
Yeah. The world's in black
I
and
will
white.
be chaotic neutral. I will
Sam.
use my powers to get on a lot of sleep and wake up on time, or maybe I just won't use my powers at all and I'll be late.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'll help people. Sometimes I'll rob banks. I don't know.
You needed the money.
Right? Ferraris ain't free. Hugo Rune 79 says, if you could be any character in The Simpsons, how would you cope with the fact that you were fictional and only spoke or did anything at the whim of writers and animators? How do you know it's not how it is?
I mean,
I
they
think I'd
predicted
cope
the
just
entire
fine.
future. So, I mean,
Beer.
It's all simulation, Hugo. We're just
Yeah.
sitting here.
It's a
Living
in it.
simulation where you're
what am I?
Blizzard, hashtag Black Lives Matter says, would you say Briar is versatile? No, I'm not reading that one. Mohican 9 says,
Delicious.
you get placed
He is
in a
delicious.
giant egg-shaped
Delicious.
dome, 15 foot high and 10 foot around. You have to
Egg-shaped,
fight
is that
off
what you said?
2 dozen sewer rats before leaving. Can you survive?
run it back. One more
Yeah.
time?
Can you? Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I can.
You get placed in a giant egg-shaped dome.
Okay. Egg. Is
15
it
foot
laying on the
high,
side or is
10
it
foot around.
vertical?
Yeah.
Oh, 15. Okay.
Whatever.
Gonna
Wait,
say
15 feet high and
weevil
what?
wobbles. You know, it's an egg. Like,
Okay, 15 feet high.
It's all over the
and,
place.
And how?
10-foot round.
Okay.
That's
so-
not that big.
No,
at
it's
all.
not.
No, it's not that big.
It's
You have to
very
fight
little.
off 24 sewer rats.
That's 24.
Can you survive?
How big
That
is
is
a sewer
24.
Being
rat?
That's
stuck
correct.
in your room with
That's
like
24.
20 rats.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
That would be
I'm-
just
I'm taking some
cuddly,
rats down.
friendly. I don't know. Why
Yeah,
were
it
they
doesn't
attacking
seem
me?
like a that doesn't.
Yeah, sewer
Rats
rats are
aren't
like,
challenge.
hey man,
They're chill. They don't
welcome,
care.
welcome to my home, man. You want some garbage? Just
Yeah,
found
it'd be
in the
easy.
sewer, man.
It'd be easy.
And then you might meet
I'd tie all
Splinter.
their tails together one by one, and I'd
make a rat
whip
king?
out of them, or a rat king. Yeah, I'd make like nunchuck rats. And,
I'll
like,
just
Oh,
whip
nunchuck
become the
rats would
rat
be
king.
dope.
be
I'm just
awesome.
gonna live in the egg and just become the rat king.
You
The
become
r-
Splinter.
the rat lady.
Danny
Crown
says,
of
question,
rats.
is most interesting Korean okay? I haven't heard a question from him in a while. I haven't either, man. I'm worried too. Most interesting Korean. Shoot us a note. Make sure you're
Yeah.
okay.
Please.
Yeah,
Maybe you
let us
just got
know.
sick of listening to our dumb fucking answers.
That's possible. That's possible.
I hope he didn't become the mildly interesting Korean. Instead of the most
Yeah.
interesting.
Just ran out of juice.
Drobe Equinox says, hi, Briar Robert and companions.
Briar Robert.
Briar Robert.
If you had a wet dang or even a wet anything, would you rather let it slowly dry by sitting in the sun or on a warm day, or sit by the fireplace so temperature can be controlled via fireplace
Okay,
distancing?
first off,
Does
first
anyone know what a
impression
wet
on what a
dang
dang
is?
is.
Yeah, what's a
first
dang?
impression on a dang?
Dang, that's a dong.
Why are they so difficult to dry? I don't understand.
As soon as I heard dang, I thought of Wang Tang, and then I thought of Wu Tang. So wherever that gets me.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to.
Briar Robert with a dang. It's wet.
I think
Needs to get
there's
warm.
no bad option
cozy,
here.
dry.
Yeah.
Sitting out on a sunny, warm, sunny day is wonderful.
Drawing
Sitting
your
by
dang.
a fireplace is wonderful. I don't know what a dang is, but
You got to dry
Hey,
it. It
how
gets
about-
wet.
Okay,
Hey.
who's googling it? What
The
is a
dang gets wet
What
and it's got to get
is a
dry.
dang?
So you either do it.
I'll look
via
it up on
sun
Urban
or-
Dictionary.
yeah.
Euphemism for dam. Why is my dam wet? Oh,
Dang.
dams are wet. Dams are wet. We're beavers.
Mm,
Beaver errors. Destiny. I
watch,
see
you're
the
going down a whole new
You solved it.
sus area.
Well, it's solved it, guys. This is great.
All right, so now we're drying wet
If
beavers.
your
in the
beaver dam
sunlight?
is wet.
Oh.
Scorpoid says, you know that faint little cloud-like particle effect on your feet when you jump? What does each class's jump cloud smell or taste like?
Dang.
Vanilla.
Dang.
Wet
Dang.
dang.
Smells like wet dang.
Smells like wet dang.
Sun dried dang. It depends on the
warlocks smell like pee.
subclass. There's a lot.
Excuse me, Briar. Warlocks smell
That's
like
awful.
potpourri and flowers.
You need a new potpourri supplier.
to
my
be
friend.
fair, potpourri smells like bathrooms because it's in a bathroom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it all
true
checks
enough.
out. Warlocks smell like bathrooms.
Backed into a corner on that one.
Nonsense.
Last question of the night. We made it. We did
We
it.
did it.
Congratulations.
Completed another episode of DCP. Dreadnought says
Nothing.
you have to hunt down your doppelganger. He or she smells, thinks, and acts exactly like you. Drives the same car, likes the same things.
They're a
How
warlock.
do you
Same
lure
gangs.
yourself in?
I would.
How do you lure yourself in?
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, Ferrari Fridays. Set them up. Send them flyers. Dude, it's
time
Ferrari
free
Friday.
Ferraris here.
Yeah, free Ferraris this Friday. Come on down.
I mean, it's probably bullshit,
drive
but
all
it's worth
week.
checking out.
Yeah, actually, Ferrari Friday here all weekend.
Oh.
Think about that. Then I'm really like not just. It is starting
Friday for
but
3
it's a
days?
whole
This
week.
is insane.
Dude.
I think I would probably put out a taco stand of delicious briar meat.
That lures in all of us at once. Gets the task
scrumptious
done
selection.
for everybody.
Look at these different.
And then
we got
Briar
Dryra
already
Briar.
Briar already hunted his doppelganger, hence the tacos.
Ooh, yeah.
You're right.
Oh, what a twist that would be! Is I was serving it up.
Yeah, but you're in the clear, man.
Briar hunted his doppelganger, made the tacos, lured the rest of us in. This amazing. Amazing.
Plot twist! I just served you me.
Oh man.
I don't know. I feel like we can taste imitation Briar now that I think about it. So
Like crab meat.
I don't know if you're gonna get
It's
away
kinda
with it because we're
good.
gonna, yeah. And as soon as we taste it, we're like, it doesn't taste like the real Briar.
Or seconds.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe we just want more.
Once we run out, there's more.
This guy in the
True.
chef hat in this truck looks really familiar.
Oh my god, so dumb.
What is all those retro video game systems back there?
All right, and that's what we think about Cosmic Ice.
Cosmic Ice.
Yeah,
That's what we think about Gambit.
That's
Cosmic
Subclass
Ice
ice cream.
That's
see you
Gambit.
next time, Gambiteers.
Gambiteers. Let's go, Gambiteers.
Dude, have you guys thought of cosmic ice cream yet? Because now you got me thinking about that.
It's
That's
gonna
what
be
we call Ben and
licorice.
Jerry's. Get
Licorice
on
fla-
this.
Licorice flavored.
Ooh.
It's just gonna taste
know
like
about
water.
Wow.
It's gonna be ice.
It's just water, yeah. It's a snow cone without any flavoring. It's just a scoop of ice.
That's very underwhelming. Wow.
It
And
costs
it's
$7 for
$8,
a pint.
But why is it all purple? What's
All right, that is the episode. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Episode number 205. Yeah.
205 DCP Live.
Yeah, 205 DCP Live. Shout out to our Patreon members. Thank you very much for supporting the show, and also our Twitch members as well. Twitch subs. Thank you very much, guys. Shout out to everyone listening on live, YouTube, and on the road, and all those places. We really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Fran, where can people find you?
Right here on Twitch at FM3_. Thanks everybody who's come by.
Lots.
You can find me drying my dang. That's it. I might make a little cameo on Briar's OnlyFans, so you can look that up. We're
Drying the
gonna
dang.
do ring dyeing tutorials.
While reading lore, it all comes together.
Lore drying tutorials. Fireplace. That was a fireplace there. That's why I'm
Mhm. You can do it outside in the sun or in the
Mhm.
fireplace. It's wonderful.
drying dangs.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Brian Rabbit. You can find me doing nothing, jerking off. I'll see you guys later.
Right on OnlyFans.
Quarantine life,
Row.
right? Really got him. I'm Tefty Teft. You can find me contemplating financing a Xbox Series X.
Mm.
Yeah. Because
I think
You
that's
know
a good
your
way to go.
dang. You could afford all of them.
I mean, I was like, I can get a PS5 and get 3080, and now I can finance an Xbox. Oh my gosh. There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next
Thanks,
week.
guys.
Yeah. That was a fun show.
Side Quest Mondays is going to be 1 p.m. Going deep.
Briar's Mr. Diddlers is on
Mr.
Tuesday?
Tiddler's Diddler is on Tuesdays.
Diddlin' Tuesdays. Oh, it's amazing.
I'm not going to correct it. Just going to let it go.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.